All right.
It didn't mean you had to stop talking. It was just.
Wait.
Can I mention this is the first time I'm live on the internet?
It's
Not. But
No, there's no time.
it's not, but whatever.
Yeah. So, John, is my volume okay? Level?
no, you need to be louder.
Okay, hang on.
And make sure they don't have you set.
All right, is that better?
It's a little better. You're speaking into your laptop, correct?
No, I've got my external mic.
Oh, okay, there. Okay, it's for a second there. I think it might be just the angle that you're at a second ago. That sounded a little likely. Oh, we'll do it live. But no, you sound okay.
Okay, good. All right, then it's time for coffee.
For coffee?
Yes, I was going to say, wait, am I the only person drinking coffee here? That's.
I'm trying to figure out how to get the
I figure. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Fine. Show off.
I think someone has mug envy.
Do it in the mic.
Oh, couldn't
And
really
now
hear it.
for all you Billie Eilish fans.
I think noise cancellation might have been on. Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say, did we become an ASMR channel and no one told me?
How much
You
is
would've
that
been-
paying us?
You would have been back sooner.
Hey, no, I had a legitimate reason.
Oh God!
Fuck you, people. I was at my aunt's place.
How much does that pay us? Because seriously, we could do that. Oh, never mind.
No,
And there goes the monetization. Sorry.
Oh, please, monetization. This should be in this thing.
YouTube just took you offline. Took us offline.
There goes YouTube.
No, last month.
But hello, OnlyFans or Twitch.
So, today we're going to talk to you about. We're going to bitch about entertainment writers and box office, but we're going to do it in this voice, so you feel tingling
More of a whisper.
wherever you.
We're
feel.
not having what he's having. It's fine.
No, you need to be more like this. We're going to talk about entertainment videos and how things are going on in the world of entertainment, and you're going to love it.
Scott C, and the C stands for creepy.
It's a brand.
Yeah.
Later on in the show,
Anyway.
cameo.
No.
No.
Speaking of
Order
cameo.
cameo.
Speaking of cameo, I on a lark loaded the JJ. I did not load the JJ. I loaded the Cameo app that will let you pay for a celebrity to say hi to somebody for you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And my favorite, I think, is that the actor Brian Cox will basically, apparently, I have not seen Succession, but he tells people to fuck off a lot in that. And
Just
so
a few times.
part of his pitch, because when you go to the page, it's like, oh hi, I'm so and so, and this is what I do. He's like, I'm happy to tell anyone to that you would like for me to fuck off, or any of my other lines from shows. But so I just love the idea that I think I told Doc, I said, if I had $450 to spend for your Christmas present, it would be hiring Brian Cox to tell you to fuck off.
If you
That would be an honor.
If you could get Peter Capaldi to do it from his character from In the Thick of It, even better.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, it was surprising who all was out there. Angelo Moore from Fishbone.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that Brian Cox is available. And
Well, I mean, for $450
inexpensive.
for like a 5-minute, whatever. If
No
somebody's
voice is
gonna-
that good. I'm sorry, no voice is that good. For that money, no. No.
It depends. I would say.
Okay. Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's worth that much.
Although she's dead, so
Gilbert
Yeah,
Godfrey.
worth
that's the
that
added
much.
value. She's dead, but she still does it. That's the added value. I can
That
see
just
that.
makes the rates go through the roof.
We had to come in through a medium.
wow,
I don't
cameo's
really-
fantastic.
This is amazing.
Cameo actually will Cameo actually are they on Cameo?
That's a
Who?
good question. I don't
That's a good
know.
question.
Who?
Cameo, the band.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, if
The,
somebody
the
could
link
get
that
me,
started this whole
is he-
snowball.
if someone could get me like a Tom Jones cameo, I'd be like happier than a pig in shit. But
Yeah, that would be good too. Let's see. Let's see.
See, I don't know if it would work because even though it's Cameo, you can't get the cod piece through the auditory medium.
What if the cod piece from
I don't see
Cameo
it.
has its own cameo?
That's
Yeah.
no. See that? No, I would
That's-
see the cod. I could see the cod piece being on OnlyFans.
nah, it's a
can.
cod piece.
Get a Tom
wouldn't be
Jones
on.
impersonator
Wow, you know what I mean.
for $65. Who?
A cameo impersonator?
No, a Tom Jones impersonator
Oh, okay.
who
Nice.
looks surprisingly accurate.
A cameo impersonator.
Why does that
very
matter?
Niche,
It's-
very niche group of people.
Why does that
But they
matter?
pay a
It's
lot
on
of
the
money.
phone.
And is this from when there were 17 members of Cameo, or is this just the trio?
That would be good. Now it would take all 5 minutes for them to like introduce themselves.
No
Now-
shit.
Oh, you know who was in the video Word Up with Cameo?
LeVar Burton.
Exactly.
Yeah. Future Trivial Pursuit host, LeVar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what he's hosting?
Yeah,
That's
got
what he's
announced
going to
today.
host. Yeah.
Yeah, he got the regular gig and Mayim Bialik got any of the specials. So, I don't.
Wait, no, I thought Suggs. You mean Suggs is hosting Jeopardy now? Is that the British version? Yeah.
I would actually watch that. You kidding?
It's okay. The cards have the answers on them. He'll be fine.
I am really liking Greg Davies on Buzzcocks.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is my the selling point for that show when I tell people about it is I say I do the bit where he was like, "Oh, and she sang an Elton John at Kate and William's wedding." No, not that Elton John song. He's been busy. I still need to watch his other show, The Cleaner. You heard about that, right? I have
No.
not seen it. Has anyone seen it? He's
I haven't
playing-
yet.
He's playing one of the cleanup technicians that comes into a murder scene after the crime.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it, but I
And
haven't seen it
hilarity
yet.
ensues.
Yeah, I mean, it's apparently based on like a German show or something.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
they're known for their humor.
They're known for their cleaning.
They're known for their safety videos.
Mm.
I remember from Top Secret. You have to hand it to the Germans. They make
See,
great
now-
cars.
See, this if Dom had any timing, this is when he would come on.
It would be really kind of terrifying if you did. Honestly.
Yeah, but
Ah.
that's the brand.
Yeah, I know.
Aren't we just waiting for second Halloween?
I am.
I'm still
In
eating
fact,
first Halloween's candy corn.
Nice.
That's you can see on
And
the
it's
oven.
been out, so it's nice and stale and
Please-
hard to get through.
That's
So
the
what I'm
send
going to
John
do is
all
I'm going to
your
put it in my
candy
mouth
corn.
while we're recording a podcast. Because that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Please send John all the candy corn, and I do mean all the candy corn because he.
Do it.
I'm
Do
ambivalent
it.
towards candy corn, but I think stale candy corn is no,
The bomb. What are you kidding?
not the move. It's not.
It's like stale Oreos. They just get better.
Dude, does candy corn get stale?
It gets hard.
Okay. Well, I mean, is it hard
Ladies.
already?
Ladies.
Jesus.
That's my nickname for my penis is candy corn.
Candy corn. Big at the
And we're back to
really
Cameo.
tiny at the top.
And that's what happens when you get 5 white dudes on one show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really surprising when a bunch of straight dudes they keep talking about their penises. It's interesting.
By the way, G4 is back on tonight, so I guess we're fitting right in.
Did you say chief whore? What?
G4.
Yes.
G4.
Chief Whore, one of my favorite internet video game channels ever.
I served under him when he was Major Chief.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well,
Also a member of Cameo in the 70s.
and that teaser came out.
Which one?
for the Halo series.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, if COVID hadn't happened, it would have been on Showtime last year.
I believe it.
If COVID hadn't happened, many things would have happened.
Well,
by
that's true.
Yeah, we would have been at Dragon
But
Con.
that was in development at Showtime forever.
Mhm.
So
It's been in development hell for decades.
Well,
well, it was in development as of Halo 4 because they were going to run it on as part of the game. So
Is it live action?
yeah.
it's live action.
I mean,
I'm just
Yeah.
interested to see at what point do all these things that were going to be movies like Halo suddenly make the transition to, oh no, let's do this on television. Like at what
They
point
had
in the
shifted to a
process-
television.
Dune.
They had shifted to a television show for Halo a while back. After it was going to be a television show. Also, the movie just never happened.
And we're entering an era right now where TV shows are more valuable content than movies.
Yeah.
You know, because if you get something that can put 12 hours of content that will be streamed over 12 different days as opposed to one thing that you stream once.
Who's slurping through a straw?
That's Rob.
Somebody's brewing coffee.
I think Rob's working on it.
Rob, what are you doing? Slurping through a straw.
We can't even hear you now.
We can't hear you. We can hear some thumping, and now we can't hear you at all.
Nice t-shirt though.
That was not the ASMR we were going for. I can't read lips.
It says you're muted.
Unmuted.
Now I just
no,
said, I am
okay.
muted. There you go.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Are you in trouble? Blink once for yes.
No, I'm fine.
He's got stitched into his Joy Division shirt like Morse code for help.
Yeah.
No, I put this on and I was like, okay, I can either wear the Kraken shirt or the Joy Division shirt, but Tuffley will wear one of them. So it was a gamble.
Yes. That I could be wearing both of them right now. I could be wearing the white version of the t-shirt under this. There you go.
Good.
So JJ, I have a question for you now.
Okay.
Other than government gridlock, what happens when 6 white guys get together? Now that
Well,
we have 6.
I mean, I imagine within the next 10 minutes, we'll probably end up talking about someone's dick again.
Again?
It's a practical committee.
Scott?
No.
He's a dick, and I don't like
This
him.
is
No,
No,
straight boys
it's-
talk about dick way more than gay guys. You'd be
John.
surprised.
It's the worst boy band '90s reunion ever. It's just.
I think there
And
should,
then
be
Justin left.
there should just be a boy band called Dick. That would be great.
I've been watching, I've watched all of this show on HBO Max called Summer Camp Island. It's a cartoon for young kids.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that show, but they have a boy band on that show that's just called Boy Band.
Nice.
well,
Generic
generics
band.
are cheaper.
Well, you need a quartet that's a boy band, and their name is the 8 Dicks.
And then their first album could be called The Complete. Oh, no, their best of would be called The Complete Dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So-
Richard box set.
So we slaughtered that 10-minute thing right off.
Oh yeah.
How long
you
was
know,
that?
but the nice thing is if they go with the Menundo route, then you can graduate out of Dicks and just join Richard.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
When do you age out of that? Actually,
And the album, the first
Sometimes
album is
around
called,
30, sometimes around 40.
I'm just that perennial member. No, the first album of Richard is called For Richard or Poorer.
you're like the Trent in the band. You're the only constant member.
But
Widget
statistically,
Walls is all
50%
the
of
dicks.
50% of all men that join the group will be leaving at some point.
So how was everybody's Halloween? Speaking of dicks, how was everybody's Halloween?
I think we celebrate that differently here, Scott.
We have 2 different definitions of Halloween.
Well,
I mean, I
I'm
know
carving
I
There's-
celebrated
there's-
3 times.
Actually, now we should find out how was yours, Scott? Because yours yours are filled with excitement and adventure. I hear.
Bringing new
Well,
definitions
honestly,
for the term jack-o'-lantern.
Trick or
Ah.
trick.
Oh,
No. I did go to actually one of the people who's like one of the founders of Mickey Faust. Her birthday is on Halloween.
Oh,
So
nice.
she always has like a Halloween / birthday party. And I went to that.
Okay.
And actually wore my Zombie Hunting League t-shirt because I couldn't be asked to do a real costume. And it was fun. It was fun seeing people that I haven't in a while because, with COVID, we've gotten together to do like little video shorts and stuff, but we haven't really gotten together as a group.
What the hell
Really?
is COVID?
What?
What the hell is COVID?
It's a thing with the kids like TikTok.
You wouldn't
Oh.
you wouldn't hear
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, in Florida, you wouldn't really know about it.
yeah, all the cool kids are doing it.
Here in Oregon, though, we talk about it all the time.
Mm.
I just found out that I
It's
guess
a
Oregon,
challenge the kids do where you eat a chip or something. I don't know.
you have to run over some milk cartons.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, something else that we actually escape artists, the guys I work with do like Pseudopod. We did a special audio drama called The Witching Hour, which I was a part of.
Nice.
And it was like
And all of that's up. All
Oh,
of
no,
that's up.
yeah, it was just one like hour-long thing. It's just 1 hour-long thing. So it's not like
Okay.
yeah, and it was very like it's very meta, but it's also a lot of fun because we got like other podcasts to sort of add little things into this little thing, and I got to be evil, and that was fun. And it's actually what we did it to celebrate because the switchover in Britain for daylight savings time is actually happened on Halloween. So technically, there's like an extra hour on Halloween, so you can always
now see that is an insidious way to get me to support daylight savings. That shit.
but
32
also,
the 32 days and 25 hours of Halloween.
but also it's hopefully the start of something else because it was kind of like a pilot to see if we could do audio dramas with like the people we have on staff. And depending on its success, we might do other stuff with not just with Pseudopod. It was that we did through Pseudopod, so it was mostly like horror, but we have like Escape Pod, which is sci-fi, Podcast World, which is fantasy, and Cast of Wonders, which is young adult. So maybe we could do other stuff, and we'll see how that goes. So hopefully it'll be more, and I can do more stuff because I'm an attention whore.
Who's
Notice
talking?
me.
This is known.
Someone talking?
So
Quite shy little you? No.
I do it to compensate for my
Shrinking
social
violet
anxiety. I do it to compensate for my social anxiety.
That's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, I ruined 2 holidays at once on Thanksgiving or Halloween, so that was great. So
Wait, 2 holidays?
yeah, and the little bastards that came to the door.
That's it.
There it
For,
is.
for trick or treating. I'm like, I'm out of candy and there's no Santa. Have a good night. And I slammed the door.
Oh, you're adorable.
Santa's
Such-
dead, kids.
You're such a curmudgeon.
I live in a building behind a locked door, so
Look, I went
bought-
I went the first 12 years of my life without any fucking chocolate. You can too.
Well, okay, it's up. The Spider-Man trailer.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, what did they spoil this time?
I've been kind of.
I haven't been looking at any of it really because I actually want to watch the movie.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I've been doing too. Is I've been just kind of.
I kind of wanted to watch it, and I'm like, I'm kind of interested. It's just, and I know Peter Parker, the character in the story, is kind of like a perennial, shit happens to him all the time and things, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just because of the movie stuff, but it's getting kind of old. I want something nice to happen to him.
That's the
that
end of
wrong?
the franchise, isn't it?
I know.
That's when they go to
I
Miles.
know.
That's when they bring Miles in.
But the thing
And
is,
then we can have horrible things happen to Miles.
the MCU version of Peter Parker is the luckiest fucking version of Peter Parker ever.
Well, I don't know. It depends on what they do to him in No Way Home.
Well,
Well, it depends on the decade.
I have so much free time right now with being out of work. And so I think I deserve a medal for keeping off of Twitter and shit as much as I have, because I get really bored, and so I haven't shared all of my ludicrous ideas of what I think should happen in Spider-Man, because I've just been doing them for fun, and so I've been like thinking of all these.
Well, hey, you're here.
Well, the one that I was amused with today that I did actually post is that sure, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire will be in it, but it turns out that they along with Tom Holland and the kid who plays Ned will just turn into Master Pandemonium's limbs.
Oh, that would be good.
But I also know that's a deep cut.
That's when you want Raimi directing.
Yeah, really.
That's a super deep cut.
and if you want to actually it gets even weirder, because actually they should actually be Wanda's kids, but that's
Well, I think they've got other plans for them.
But that's because comics, if you go deep enough, they just get real fucking.
I know. I went down a dive looking into Eternal shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, JJ. It'll be Mephisto and the Enchantress. We're just gonna ride that train until somebody uses it. That's all there is.
As I said to Widge earlier, they should just both be Quicksilver.
I like it.
But so I mean, I've never made any amends or any hiding the fact that Spider-Man is my absolute favorite comic book character, and so it doesn't matter if what kind of crap they put out for a Spider-Man movie. I am going to go see it, and I will probably just adore the hell out of it. And the combination of Tom Holland and Spider-Man is fucking magic. I mean, there hasn't been a single second of screen time that I haven't enjoyed. So, at this point, they put so much crap on the ideas of what might happen with Spider-Man in that movie. It doesn't have time for it. If they put everything in there, it would be like 5 seconds of a little bit of everything.
Well, they'll save 20 minutes if they cut Maguire's dance number. So, if they do that this time, that'd be great.
So JJ, dick to head, because it's been a while. What is your favorite Spider-Man film outside of multiverse?
Yeah, definitely Spider-Verse is definitely up there.
Spider-Verse, thank you.
I think probably Homecoming, but I do really like Far From Home. I know Widge doesn't, but I really did. As Widge dies. I really, but I do think, I think Homecoming is about perfectly structured, but I also really liked, I recently, because I hadn't watched it in a long time, I recently sat down and watched Infinity War. And I had forgotten that Infinity War is a very funny film until it's not. Everybody remembers it as being a downer because of the ending, but it's actually up into the last 15 minutes. It's a very funny, charming film with a lot of really good character moments. And then it just ends in a downer. So everybody's like, that movie's so sad.
Well, it ended sadly for the mundanes. Because as people who are, I've sort of experienced, but people who are experienced the comics, they're like, they're not dead.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be comics. All you have to do is know a little bit about movie contracts.
Well, I know, but yeah, that's true too.
Actually, that goes to your point. That is why they don't talk about. That's why they made the big deal about. Oh, we don't put people on contracts anymore, because they don't want anybody to guess what's coming up. They don't want anybody to guess they're not going to kill Elizabeth Olsen because she's in the next 4 films. So
You're right, but the dude
yeah,
who played Shang-Chi in his behind the scenes, what is it, assembled, he was like, yeah, I'd like to come back and do it again, but fuck if I know.
yeah, because when the Scarlett Johansson thing came up, Feige put a quote out that said we don't put people under contracts anymore.
Right.
We just want people to come back. And part of that is you don't want people to guess who's going to be in the next film. So
Yeah.
You don't want to guess. You don't want people to guess who's going to be in the eventual next Avengers film.
Well, and
Because
also
at this point it could be anybody.
Sorry, go ahead.
They're also a bankable enough entity that they can come back next time and promise you a bigger share on the back end. And
Also true.
they can afford anyone.
And if Renner doesn't want to come back, we'll just stick an X-Man in it.
Yep.
Oh, and also helps in case someone says some things that aren't exactly kosher.
Also a Renner clause.
Hey, Trick Shot's just around the corner. They can bring him in anytime. Or Swordmaster.
Exactly. Or
we're getting like all the Young Avengers sort of almost replacing everybody. So
We are, but there's such an odd smattering of ages that it would be a very odd film to have like Haley Seinfeld next to the 2 kids that were in WandaVision. I mean,
I imagine they're going to get aged again before we get to that point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's who knows how long it's going to be before they get multiverse out if they're in that. But also, it would be an interesting take to see. Shit, what's her? I can't remember her name. Natasha's sister.
Right, Yelena.
Yelena have to become like the older sister to these younger. So like to be the older sister now to these younger Avengers.
I mean, let's see where she is after Hawkeye.
Yeah,
I suspect after they convince her what really happened, she's gonna have some questions for Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They're gonna be talking.
we all have questions for Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
First one: do you have a square to spare?
Is this movie spongeable? Sponge-worthy. I was never a Seinfeld fan.
But I mean, like I said, it does give them the freedom in case they have somebody like Shuri say some things, and so they're like, okay, who else do we have available?
I do kind of like
still in it. She's still doing Wakanda.
Well,
Forever.
I suspect she's kind of
allegedly.
Yeah, and also she may be contracted before Feige put this out.
I think what he's saying is they're not putting people that aren't already under the appearance deals in appearance deals. Right. I think that's what he meant.
And I think that might be what Shuri's under, or whoever they are. I can never remember.
Letitia Wright.
Thank you.
Yep.
She has a name.
Because I think after some of that stuff, they would have been like,
I don't know. The kind of sad thing is, though, right now, in this point in time, if you stop working with everyone who said something stupid about COVID, movies there's like
lots of people
there are things about, there are levels of stupid, and her stuff is kind of.
We can't even get people to stop working with Mel Gibson. So I mean,
yeah.
Yes, but they gave him Lethal Weapon 5, so nobody cares.
There's certain people that I wonder why they keep directing films. The dude who, Mel Gibson for one, the dude who directed Jeepers Creepers, the convicted pedophile who directed Jeepers Creepers. You know, it's like there's just people out there that you're like, why do you keep getting work?
What's his face? The guy who did Chinatown?
Oh, Polanski?
Yeah. He kept Woody Allen.
Yeah.
So I think there is, I don't know. It's like if you're talented, they will forgive you anything. I mean, Cosby, that shit was out there for years, but he was bankable. So it's like, oh, well, you know, women say things.
He's kind of got the Chris Pratt contract.
Well, not anymore.
Wait, he's going to be Mario too?
Mario.
That's unfair.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Mario
Mario then Garfield?
Although the thing about Garfield I've enjoyed is the campaign to get Matt Berry to play Garfield.
Oh, see, I'd sign up for that.
Wow. Oh, somewhere out there on the internet, there is a dude who does a dead-on Matt Berry impersonation. It's a TikTok that if you can find it, I highly recommend it because it's not only is it dead on, it makes you realize, oh, this would be a Garfield movie I would watch.
Yeah.
And my thing about that is Chris Pratt actually any good at voice acting?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
Was he in What If? No.
I don't know.
I don't think he was he?
Yeah, he was in What If. I thought he was.
I don't know. I mean, Star-Lord was, but there was a couple of people that they just didn't bother with.
Well, what they said was, and the director was actually surprised when Dave Bautista came out and said he wasn't asked, is that they had approached everybody, and my thought is that either Bautista's management or agent or whatever just didn't drop the ball, because considering who all they did get back, I mean, they brought like people back who were, like very, very small parts. Let's put it that way, where you go, oh wait, they did get so and so back.
They got Kurt Russell back for like 3 lines.
Yes.
I wonder how
fair, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. And I mean, I think, like I said, I think this is a problem I hear from a lot of voice actors is they get that you need a name to sell a movie, and they get that. But some of these people they get are just not good at this. It's not not usually a transferable skill from voice acting to, if you're a regular actor, to just voice acting. It's not the same.
I'm not sure Chris Pratt sells a movie though.
No.
We haven't really seen it yet. I mean, yeah, he was in Guardians, but nothing else he's led. I mean, Jurassic Park is
dinosaurs.
Nobody's going to see Jurassic Park for. Nobody's going to see Jurassic World for Chris Pratt.
No.
And wasn't he in this weird time travel war movie?
Oh, Tomorrow War.
I never did.
Yeah.
But again,
you
go see a sci-fi movie. Well, actually, you couldn't go see it. It was on Amazon. But you watch a sci-fi movie because it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was I think it was one of the Paramount ones that got slid over to Amazon, I think. But yeah.
And you get, and the other thing is, I know it's stereotyping, but you get like one of the whitest people to play Mario. It just, he's so white.
Well, to be fair, he was funny on Parks and Rec. So.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, he's got a natural charm. I think what people are pissed about him is not that he's not good in what he does. I mean, I don't hold him accountable for being wooden in the Jurassic Park movies. Everybody's wooden in the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah.
And again, nobody's going to see the Jurassic Park movies for like the people.
Yeah. I mean, if your name's not Jeff Goldblum, then you're not like showing a lot of character quirks or anything in any of the Jurassic movies.
Jeff Goldblum is character quirks.
Yeah, you can't hold him back. But it's not like he's not good in anything. I mean, the problem with a lot of people right now is they just need to learn when to shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's one thing, back in the golden age of Hollywood, they had people, anything happened, they shut that shit down.
Oh,
they'd have the studio fixers come in and say, nope, don't print that.
Well, so basically, Star-Lord, as we know him, does not appear in What If. Peter Quill does, briefly, and that is played by Brian T. Delaney.
Okay.
And because it was played by someone else, I would take that to mean that Pratt did not or was not able to come back for that.
Right. Because, now that you say it, you're right. He was only in the end of the What If T'Challa was
Where he
Star-Lord.
spoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the finale, they show him and T'Challa Star-Lord hanging out or something like that. But yeah, the people that they got back, I was just so happy in the zombies one that they had such a weird smattering of characters, including Kurt, David Dastmalchian from Suicide Squad and Dune, and then Emily Van Camp, Sharon Carter, and Happy. Just a weird mishmash of characters. I mean, they brought Rachel McAdams back to play Christine for the Doctor Strange one. And
so on the Marvel Zombie show, I wonder, is it going to be regular characters that we're following, or is this an anthology?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, the way they did it in the comics is you followed the survivors, but only for like brief arcs.
Yeah, okay. I also thought it was funny that Kirkman immediately went, "I'm not involved."
I am kind of really interested in the She-Hulk one. That one looks interesting. I love the actress.
Well,
she's amazing.
Right.
Because and of course I can't remember her name.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yep.
Yes.
And they brought. I'm assuming that, and Tuffley would know this. The deal with Universal does not preclude television or streaming, which is why Banner / Hulk is in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And okay, so I finally watched Shang-Chi. Has everyone here seen Shang-Chi?
Yes.
Yes.
No, but you can spoil.
I've seen everything but the Eternals.
Go
John,
ahead.
have you seen it? John has gone.
Yeah,
away.
go for it.
Have you seen Shang-Chi?
Yes.
Sorry, yes, I didn't realize.
Okay, good.
I didn't realize you were talking directly to me. I was actually
Sorry.
looking up a graphic, so okay.
No, that's okay. So, Tuffley, the fact that Banner appears at the end of Shang-Chi, spoilers by the way, is it because he's not in Hulk form that they were able to get away with that, or was it because it was so short, or
because Disney paid Universal a lot of money?
No, I think I don't remember where I read this. Hold on. I think I have an explanation. I don't remember where I read this, but what I read was Marvel can't do a Hulk movie, like a straight up Hulk movie. They can put him in other things. That's how they were able to get him in Iron Man 3. That's how they were able to get him all the Avengers stuff.
Okay.
So just having him as a cameo, they could do that.
Okay.
Although, to what you're saying, I think the deal is that it's a certain percentage amount of the film that Hulk appears in.
I don't know if it's percentage
that is being regulated. I don't know.
I don't know if it's percentage or if it's just that if he's like the headliner.
Because they also got
headliner. Then that's
they also got paid for Ragnarok. So,
right.
Well, and my question is, just out of curiosity, is it Hulk or is it also Banner? And would that influence how much time Banner was Hulk in the film, if that was the case?
And is there a stupid loophole by the fact that they just call him Banner?
Yes, probably.
So technically, we have David Banner.
I mean, he was not Hulk for a good portion of his appearance in Ragnarok. So,
did you catch the thing in the She-Hulk trailer of Ruffalo practically wearing the same outfit from the '70s show?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was 20 seconds, but yeah, you know.
Well,
and the whole like you won't like me when I'm angry. It's like
Well,
that's scary as her She-Hulk and as a lawyer.
But that's also that's one of those things. Like I sure put it in the ad, but I don't need to watch a Star Wars movie anymore and hear anybody say I've got a bad feeling about this. I don't need the Hulk to say.
I agree with you, but if they do find a good way of putting it in, Like that almost looked like she was doing a commercial
Probably
for her law practice. And if she did that as like her tagline for don't get me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry because I'll sue the hell out of you or something like that. If I could,
I'm not going to name the lawyer firm, but there is somebody that has a strong arm.
Oh,
I'm not going to mention the lawyer firm, but that's the one I'm thinking of.
there's the one on last week tonight with John Oliver with the hammer. I'm the hammer. Whatever. Ridiculous.
See, that's the thing. If they did that line as like a commercial for her, that would be cute.
Well, interestingly, they weren't sure for a while who was going to appear at that end thing with Wong and Chang and Katie. So they had those two slots, and they weren't sure who they were going to put in them. They kept bouncing ideas about. So the fact that they chose those is meaningful.
But it's also interesting. It's also interesting that in the She-Hulk trailer, Ruffalo is both in Professor Hulk and Standard Human. So does that mean he can change? That means does something happen to him?
Yeah, I mean he can change.
I mean, it's the Hulk. All you have to do is rewrite the rules for him. They change all the time.
Well, but I mean,
okay.
What I took from him in Endgame was that he had figured out how to control it, meaning he could shift whenever he felt like it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just okay.
I would also, just from a character standpoint, I would imagine he would, if he can change back, maybe he wouldn't change back while his arm was on fire.
Well, yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Personally,
that might hurt.
I would love to see if they continue to play around with different mutations of Hulk. I would love to see, just because I'd love to see Mark Ruffalo do it. One of my favorite weird little Peter David facets. No, well, I mean, of course, everybody wants to see Fix-It, but no, this was after he kind of merged all of them for a little while and just existed as what would now be kind of a Smart Hulk. But after that, he got separated again. But it was switched out to the fact that when he was calm, he had the body of the Hulk and the brain of Banner. But when he got mad, he would turn into puny Banner, but the brain of the Hulk. So you would just get this like little skinny dude going smash. And I just wanted to
basically Earthworm Jim out of the suit.
Oh dear!
I just really want to see.
Now,
Ruffalo.
Is this without the strength of the Hulk?
Yes. No, he was just in human form. He would get really mad and turn into a human.
Yeah, if he was Zen, he had all the good traits. If he was angry, he had all the bad traits.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember what other stuff they talked. What other series they talked about?
I mean, we got like 30 seconds of Moon Knight, and we got 30 seconds of like Miss Marvel.
Right.
We got logos.
The 30 seconds of Moon Knight was surprising to me because it started and I was like, oh, fuck this. And by the end of the 30 seconds, I was like, oh, you crazy bastards. I'm in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I like was when they did the montage towards the end, and there was an obvious scene where Oscar Isaac, I don't know what version of, the character he is at that point. Maybe it's Mark Spector. I have no idea. Seems to come to standing up with a bunch of people knocked out around him and him looking shocked. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing he probably pops out of being the Fist of Khonshu and then pops into being Mark Spector at that moment. And that was the exact moment because they lost me with the stupid accent at the beginning. And I was like, I don't know that I'm in for this. And then they showed that and I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how they're going to play it because they wisely will, re-swizzle stuff like we saw with non-Mandarin in Shang-Chi. What's funny?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing. So way back in the day, Aaron and I used to do a podcast where we would talk about movies and stuff. And there are two movies that we got really, really heated about disagreeing about. One of them was Tank Girl, a movie he adores and I despise.
Okay.
And also,
You're on the right side of that argument.
I know I am. And Iron Man 3, that I like Shane Black, so it felt like a very Shane Black film to me. I personally had no problem with what they did with the Mandarin, so that's one that I love. But Aaron hated, and so he saw Shang-Chi the day before I did, and he contacted me and I was like, "Have you seen it yet?" And I was like, "No, I'm going to watch it tonight." He's like, "Okay, well, contact me tomorrow. I want to know what you think." And
you
so
will call me tomorrow.
I contacted him the next day and I was like, "Okay, I've seen Shang-Chi. Go ahead, bitch about Trevor. I'm ready. Let's go." And sure enough, that's the first thing he did.
He was great, though. I like that. He was great.
It was great.
Yeah, no, I love the subversion. Because it's like, he's playing at all those stupid stereotypes that the Mandarin was, and it's like, no, it's bullshit. The whole war with the Mandarin is bullshit. It's corporate bullshit, guys. That's the point.
And whatever path it took for us to get Tony Leung as a Marvel character, it's fine. Give me any fake outs you want, and eventually give me a film with Tony Leung and Michelle Yeoh. I'm in. Now, if we can get Donnie Yen into it somewhere,
seriously, yeah, Donnie Yen and pretty much anything is fine with me. Thanks.
Yeah,
they are showing a confidence in like both TV and the movies where they are feeling, this is Marvel. We can do fucked up shit. Like we can do like a whole martial arts Asian thing and just do it.
Well, the thing that I really like,
they're branching out of kind of like, they've already kind of used most of their white superheroes, and so it's like, no, we can branch all this shit out.
They got lots.
No, they have not.
They have a lot.
No, I mean
so many more.
No, they have not.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense, but I do see what you're saying. No, they have so many more superheroes, and it's like, it's not even like they're Sony and they're so desperate. They're doing Morbius and they're trying to say, bringing a Marvel legend to the screen.
You want to talk desperate?
Really? No, even Spider-Man fans don't even remember who the hell Morbius is.
Oh my God!
Come on.
If you watch the cartoon, you'd remember.
The trailer where sorry Scott, but the trailer where they had the interview with Jared Leto, and he was like, Morbius has always been just a huge part of the Spider-Man mythos, and I could not stop laughing. I think I had to rewatch the trailer because I laughed for like 20 minutes. I was like, no.
In fairness, he only read 3 Spider-Man comic books in his life, and they all happen to have Morbius in it.
And in fairness, they probably
two of them were issues of
to his agent like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Morbius! Oh, he's huge. He's totally
It's spectacular before it was Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Or Peter Parker, the all new, all different Spectacular Spider-Man.
But like I was trying to, what I was about to say was, if you want to talk desperate, let's talk Paramount Plus doing 5 Star Trek shows. That's desperate.
No, it's not now. Well, okay, go ahead.
They're trying to do Marvel TV, and it's like what DC tried. They're trying to do the same thing, and they haven't built
what DC tried to do, because DC television has been rather successful.
No, when DC tried to do the extended universe from and didn't do the groundwork that Marvel did, Paramount Plus is trying to do Marvel TV with their Star Trek stuff, and it's just.
But are they as tied together?
Well, they're not connected though. They're not at all connected.
They kind of are. The problem is they're not really that much variation in the shows as you would see in.
It's like TV. Prodigy's in a different timeline than any of them, and only Picard and Lower Decks are actually within the same time frame. Like Discovery is way out now, so
but in tone and with a lot of other stuff, they feel very similar.
They're
now.
they're gonna be similar in tone, with the exception of Lower
Lower
Decks,
Decks.
which is a comedy. But I will also, because as someone who is a Star Trek fan, Star Trek. I thought I got it backwards again, like I always do. Someone who is a Star Trek fan, but not. I'm more of a Picard fan than I am a Star Trek fan. I mean, but Picard was fucking great, and the little bit I've seen of Discovery was fucking great. I mean, so it's Star Trek.
I know, but I like the thing is like what I liked about the Marvel shows is they have such different takes on everything. Like WandaVision is completely different from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is completely different from Loki, which will be completely
part
different.
of the thing too is bear in mind if you have doing a series of Star Trek shows would be similar to doing a series of X-Men shows, in my opinion, because they're all Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for the exception of maybe DS9, you can make the argument that pretty much all of them are about the same.
Yeah. I mean, unless you went with, God damn, you should not do a show with this title now. I just realized this before I said it. Unless they just call the show Q.
They're bringing them back.
I'm sure someone at Paramount's thinking that right now.
You know what? You might be able to get someone to air that. It might not be the people that you want. But they're confused anyway, so
we'll call the show Star Trek Continuum.
My friend Q.
So
they're bringing him back for season 2.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying they're doing it.
How could you not?
Well, I know, but even with what Q now represents, they're still doing it. But I don't know. I would love the Star Trek for them to have more. Really try different. I mean, it is a big galaxy. It is a big universe. They can really try different things with it. It's just I don't think they're being bold enough in terms of their series.
JJ, you're getting your Michelle Yeoh show, so that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it would be possible to do something in the Star Trek universe that did not emanate from the Federation. Like if you did
you can even do different things with the Federation.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do a like Mandalorian-esque, like someone who lives outside the Federation kind of show, but that's not. I think you would alienate what people like about Star Trek, and that's part of what you have. I mean,
I don't think they have the balls to pull it off because I mean, it may have changed from then, but Voyager, the premise of it was great in that you had these two warring factions that were stuck on a ship and had to rely on each other.
And they completely abandoned that.
Sorry?
And they completely abandoned it.
Well, they didn't abandon it. They just resolved it in the first episode and basically threw out potentially 1.5 to 2 seasons worth of character work.
Yeah.
So it's not like forgot it happened. They just went, "Oh, we're all going to get along now." And I was like,
but
"Here's
the other thing is what else that I think, and also I think the problem that they're being so careful with Star Trek is what else does Paramount Plus have?
They got a couple other things.
Apparently, a Yellowstone spinoff is going to be there in a bit. So
Oh yeah, 1883. Now I will give them this. They did hire Sam Elliott, which is always anything that gets Sam Elliott paid, I'm a big fan of.
Sam Elliott's one of those actors, kind of like Donnie Yen and Tony Leung. You put him in anything, I'm there.
Yeah,
it's like Idris Elba. Do
they have 2 different contracts? One for his mustache and one for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this mustache insured through Lloyd's of London?
He has a stunt mustache.
I mean, considering sometimes he shaves it and always looks really wrong when he does. Some of us just do facial hair.
And I believe, I think, what else is on? I know Evil moved to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, but I already told you, Clifford the Big Red Dog is there.
Oh, fuck that movie.
Yes. And I believe you can get the Big Brother feeds on Paramount Plus now. So,
Let's
Those
see.
are important.
And lesser
Now-
leagues of soccer.
Yes.
Now,
Woohoo!
the new Jeremy Renner show, Mayor
Mayor of
Brooklyn.
Of
Kingstown.
Housetown?
Kingstown.
Of the
Kingstown.
cat house.
Kingstown.
That too.
Lordtown.
Of-
I don't know.
Kingstown.
The Lords of Dogtown, but only a mayor.
He's only the mayor.
As
Is,
opposed to-
It's really the story of
is Jeremy
people
Renner
less
skating?
than skating.
It's a
It's-
massive reduction.
Let's see.
It's inline skating.
They don't. Yeah, they're. If you go to shows. Oh, this is just the popular. What is all shows?
And technically,
So
Prodigy
popular-
is on Nickelodeon. So
Hey, Young and the Restless.
Oh, that's still a thing.
I tell you this though, if you're a T-Mobile customer, you get Paramount Plus free for a year if you just go over to their little thing and you just hit the button.
Wow. You get Paramount Plus and you're stuck on T-Mobile. Poor fuckers.
wow,
Okay, according to this,
Service is great here in Florida.
that's 3 more Star Trek shows than you're getting.
We don't
It was worse.
we don't have
than-
5G because it causes COVID.
I mean, I have Cricket now. I mean, I went like cheap as fuck, but I will say that even when
the
I had
Kids
Cricket,
magazine.
it was better in Atlanta than T-Mobile was, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, the most popular show according to the website is SEAL Team,
Of course it is.
It is
Followed by
exclusive there,
NCIS.
only.
I know.
followed by Blue
Oh,
Bloods,
God, David Boreanaz still has a career. Yeah. All right.
then Discovery.
I'm gonna pretend that SEAL Team is actually an animated series, kind of like the old Mr. T show, but it's SEAL and a bunch of kids that are just going out and
Solving
solving
mysteries every week.
And Heidi Klum.
Oh, I would watch that. I would watch, and then at the end, he always sings a song, and then the credits roll.
Yeah, and especially
David
if SEAL.
David
SEAL has his,
Boreanaz is the seal.
yeah, and if SEAL has his like beautiful cheetah dress costume that he wore on The Masked Singer.
Was he on
Fuck
The
that.
Masked Singer?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
on the second season back when I.
So is
still watched it.
Leiden recently.
Yeah, but Leiden's got a. Apparently, he used the money because his wife's got Alzheimer's and he's trying to.
No,
pay for
and
treatment.
that is true. That was
But he's still a sellout. He can't be bitching about all this other crap he's bitching about, and then. But anyway, never mind.
Don't,
Well, it's like-
don't give
what
me
is
any
it?
sympathy for him. Now I almost
I know.
have a little.
I don't have.
Yeah, well,
I don't have much anyway. So
it's like Ridley Scott basically coming out and saying that the scripts for the Marvel movies are shit. This from the guy who did Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and I'm like,
does
oh,
he own the
dude.
rights for Monopoly?
He's attached to Monopoly. Yeah, I don't know if he owns the rights, but he's attached to it.
Like
And
Who has
Russell
that?
Crowe
Oh,
is.
Didn't he do? I can't believe I remember. Didn't he do Battleship?
no,
no, he
no, I don't think that was him.
No, that
Okay.
was
No, he
him.
did
That
Trouble.
was
But strangely enough, Tim Burton's going to do Candyland.
No one was
Peter
prepared for the pop-o-matic bubble.
But see, no, Candyland. The year that they made the movie,
So
with like
what is
Peter
Johnny
Cushing
Depp gonna?
and Vincent Price and Karloff, and they were all in that horror movie together. That's when they should have made fucking Candyland with all of those guys, because that would have been fucking great.
Well,
Peter
strangely,
Lorre-
Tim Burton's still going to use Vincent Price. It's just old footage from
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands.
well,
Well,
he's got like 3
Battleship
hours of
was-
footage of them. So
yeah. Battleship was Peter Berg,
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
the
also known as.
Well, I mean, but he
the
also,
guy who
you
brought
know,
you. What was it?
Friday Night
Entourage.
Lights.
I mean, come
Friday
on.
Night Lights, yeah.
Did he direct Very Bad Things? Oh yeah, he did. That was his first film. That was
Yeah, I
very
think
bad.
Ridley Scott. I mean, it's like the thing to do now if you want to be seen to have some sort of like auteur cred is to shit on
Well,
superhero movies.
The other thing
not
that's
really.
weird is he said, well, I did 3 really great superhero films, and then proceeded to list what was it, Alien, Blade Runner, and Gladiator, none of which are superhero films. So the very fact that he doesn't know what a superhero film is just means he needs to shut the fuck up. It's
Well-
like, no, dude, you are very good when you decide to be.
Well, I mean, it
Shut
depends
the
on your
fuck up.
perspective. I'm sure the aliens consider themselves superheroes.
Yeah.
And Ripley was amazing, but she wasn't like superhuman.
No,
that
it
was
wasn't a
Alien
superhero
4.
film.
I
That was
mean, clearly
the
Ripley's the baddie of the piece. Yeah, clearly.
Now that would be funny.
Those poor xenomorphs.
If you actually did because I mean it's Fox, which means Disney owns it, which means if you did a series on Disney Plus, which was the Alien series told from the perspective of the aliens
versus Ripley,
just aliens, except all of the posters, instead of showing the xenomorph, it shows scary renditions of humans, and so we're the aliens, and then Ripley is the boogeyman that they tell.
You've heard about the latest Predator movie, right?
No, because I like to pretend that series is over.
It's interesting. It's actually
You say that.
Let me.
But I doubt it.
Hold on. I believe, and I have to maybe look this up to confirm.
He's got a wacky neighbor.
No, it is actually set in the past. It's called Prey. It is set in the past, and I believe it's actually involving Native Americans.
Okay, because this is that MC Hammer Prey song. I'm gonna fucking kill somebody.
Hold on.
I mean, great, but also I don't really give a fuck where they came from.
Well, I don't know if they're doing that. I don't know if they're going there, but I think. Hold on.
It's just when you call them prey, it sounds like how they evolved to be.
Well, I mean,
I was going to say the prey that I'm thinking of is the Bethesda game that was really good from a couple of years ago, but that's
until they do a proper Aliens versus Predator movie, I cannot possibly give a shit. So, and by that I mean, go to the comic book, do that movie. It's really simple.
If you did the Chris Claremont story, the danger was Deadliest of the Species, that was about. It was about. Well, the thing was I believe it was the queen alien that was fighting to protect basically her brood. So it was basically this. Not only was it Aliens versus Predator, it was also sort of like what extents will you go to protect your bloodline, and it was pretty. It was interesting. It was Predator, Aliens versus Predator with a little bit more.
Well, I mean, they own all the Aliens versus Predator. They own the characters, plus don't they own the reprint rights to the Dark Horse stuff? Because haven't they been reprinting the Dark Horse stuff?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know, but
I thought Marvel was reprinting some of the Dark Horse stuff now.
I reread that series recently, and it absolutely holds up, and I find it just as cool as it was when it first came out. So, yeah, do that, make it right, do a proper Aliens versus Predator movie, and then we can talk. And then maybe
Noah Harley's got Alien, has got an Alien series happening for FX, so.
Yes. Now, this is interesting because I actually read the first story arc in the Marvel Alien comic, or Aliens comic, whatever the hell it's called, and it was not bad. So
who's the writer on that? Do you remember?
I have to look it up. And I don't even know if it's like shifting writers or what. Let me see.
I think they're doing it by arc. I think the writers changed by the arc.
So many. Fucking
right for the trade.
Aliens series. Let's see.
I will say, if you ever come to Milwaukee, Oregon, there the actual building where they publish Dark Horse Comics has a big window that has a life-size Predator and a life-size Xenomorph and something else that I can't remember because there's 3 figures there. I just can't remember what the third one is.
It's let's see. It's Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Every hats on. I'm sorry. What?
Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote them. Apparently, he's writing the second story arc as well. He did a Marvel Zombies series and did some of the Empire stuff and wrote some Venomish stuff. So. But no, it was the first story arc. At least was good. I thought it was pretty good, and it brought something new to the mythos that I had not seen before. Not like, oh, it's a new alien race or some shit. It was just a very cool idea that made a lot of sense, and I would love to see them play around with a lot more. So I
am curious about something. I don't think that I'm going to be able to hang very long because my neck is killing me, and for some reason, they absolutely refuse to give me any painkillers.
Wait a minute, what? Why not?
I've been dealing with it since July, and they won't give me fucking painkillers.
Live in Portland.
I have a job that gets federal money.
No, I understand that, but what I'm trying to get at is why are they being so stingy with the painkillers? If you live
and see, that's the thing is, so I don't know.
Mushrooms, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that is. I mean, I will admit, back when they, so I have been recently declared disabled.
Awesome. Yes, we all agree.
Yes, that's ADA means American disabilities that are awesome. But yeah, so I've been
thanks, Danger Woman.
But I have I have ADA protections right now, so I can't lose my job. But it does mean that I have an appointment next month to talk to a surgeon where it looks like I'll probably be getting cervical spine surgery, but I don't know that for a fact. And so when I knew that I wasn't going back to work until December, don't get me wrong, I did make sure that I got my own painkillers, legal painkillers that are quite affordable. But the problem is I am now in the that like month until I go to the surgeon, and I don't know how long it's going to be after that. So I am in the cleaning out phase right now.
Gotcha.
What painkillers are you looking for?
Maybe you should take that offline.
Yeah.
No.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No. There's websites where you can buy.
Yes, tell us more.
Perfectly legal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had an appointment with a pain clinic doctor yesterday, and they basically, the decision was, because they gave me a steroid shot, and that's not enough, and they just basically don't want, I was like, come on, man, it's like a month until I go to the doctor. Can't I at least get some fucking Vicodin or something to sleep? And they're like, you'll be okay.
It's the problem with the opioid crisis. A lot of places are just so freaked out. They're overcompensating for pushing out pills to everybody.
I think that's it, and also, people like me also abuse painkillers. So I think I think that I suffer from long hair disease in this particular case. But anyway, off of me, I just am curious how if anybody has seen Dune and what you thought about it, because I have
questions as well for the people who have.
Funny you should ask. Which did Stay Homer on that?
Oh, I watched it.
Catch on the website. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched it, and I agree and disagree with him.
Okay, so can I ask a question as someone who has been trying to get into Dune for years and hasn't been able to in many attempts?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you're seeing me.
Is this the Dune that makes me actually give a shit about Dune?
I was always on the fence with okay, it's Dune. But, yeah.
I hate the book, I'll say.
Yeah. The book's
a bit dry and quite a bit pretentious, I thought. So,
it's supposed to be dry.
The book.
That's why they put it in a dust cover.
For me, the book.
I tried pool reading, so.
No.
I think I said this in the review that basically it was a build-up that just didn't go anywhere, which really, really kind of just extremely disappointed me. And honestly, the best, if you want to read anything in the book of Dune that is actually good, read the first appendix, which talks about the planetology of the planet. That was fascinating. The rest of it I could do without.
See, I completely disregarded the book when I went into it. I'm like,
I did too.
I wanted to look at it in the theater, and I was lucky that they had a critic screening at 3, and a friend of mine's like 9:30 in the morning. It's like, I got to make sure it's running. You want to come and watch it. So sitting in a theater and seeing on a massive fucking screen, it is a beautifully gorgeous piece of cinema, right?
It's also that at home too.
Yeah, if you have the right system. Yeah.
I mean,
which I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying
I mean, I'll tell you, I don't.
But that's but the thing is, even if you have that, the pretty can only go so far.
Oh yeah.
Not being completely familiar with the books in as much detail as other people I knew, and being really into like the actors that were in it, and like just I was okay with it. I had really low expectations. I'm like, I was not expecting it. I knew going in that it wasn't going to be a complete movie, and it would cut off, so that didn't freak me out.
See, I don't know how many people realize that.
Yeah.
Not only does it cut off, it's basically 2.5 hours of heavy petting, and as soon as you would take your pants off, your mom comes in and you have to leave the room.
So is the short answer to this no? It's not the Dune that's going to make me give a shit about Dune.
No.
So hang on. I just want to say that based on that description, I would just recommend maybe some talk therapy. I'm
going tomorrow.
Maybe some counseling.
Okay, good.
Maybe some
you might want to mention that. As someone who's been to talk therapy, never for that reason, but I'm just saying. I was masturbating, but then my mom walked in. I'm like, there are some things you need to work through.
Well, I'm saying, well, yeah. Anyway, maybe mom was the most Freudian thing I could have thrown in there.
And we're back to dicks. Okay.
Anyone could have opened the door, but no, it's just so to kind of, in my opinion, Toughly, I would wait until the second half comes out, maybe, and decide. Because honestly, my main problem with it as a film, now, as a work of cinema, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it is.
Oh yeah, because I expect that, because I was well into Arrival and Blade Runner, so
yeah, and it's beautifully cast.
How do you say his name, Widge?
It's Denis.
It's Denis. It's like the Blondie song.
Yeah, right. Denis. Yeah, Denis via
Blondie.
Villeneuve. But yeah, so it is beautifully cast. The cast is the reason I think that you stay involved. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Timothée Chalamet. I've definitely seen him in some things that I like, but he's playing Paul. Paul is a character who is one of the weirdest Jesus analogs since Life of Brian, in the fact that he just sort of, everybody tells him he's great, and he's like, what? And then they just decide that he is great when he needs to be.
Yeah, but no one walks across a room quite like Timothée Chalamet, with a perplexed yet confused yet knowing look on his face.
He looks so good walking across an island, or excuse me, an area that they literally tell you if you step outside you will die, and he just goes outside in a black pantsuit and looks beautiful.
Yeah,
and doesn't sweat.
Yeah. So,
real quick, can we rate the for Kim, who cannot join us this evening? Can we rate the Oscar Isaac nudity, because she really needs to know?
You don't. There will be no.
Tell her it's a 9, and then wait at home while she's gone.
Yeah, there's no Richards involved, but he does look great. He does. He's beautifully filmed. You can see every contour of his body except for a strategically placed table corner.
And he's got a beard.
Okay, good.
He's got a beard.
And as a straight man,
I'm going to be forced to watch this film then.
Well, as a straight man, I've got a crush on Oscar Isaac. I mean, he's great.
Yeah, but
can I just ask this question though?
Sure.
Because they didn't announce that the second part of that movie was a go until 2 weeks after it was released.
They should have had a plan for chapter 1.
Here's my point. If it tanked, if they said, you know what, this isn't worth it, that's the movie we would have ended up with.
Yes.
Well, okay, so I'll give you, having not seen the film, having not seen the film, I'll give you 2 reasons for that. Because Arrival wasn't a big hit, and Blade Runner wasn't a big hit, and they weren't going to give him $200 million more to make another film that wasn't going to be a hit.
Which means this guy has
Exactly.
cojones the size of the Soviet Union. It's just massive.
The other part of this is
Soviet
that
Union?
Warner's everybody's back end deals. Warner's paid them off for the day and date HBO Max shenanigans.
Yep.
So part of Denis' back end was a sequel.
Yeah. And
so he got the sequel because it went to HBO Max, which he, by the way, was bitching about. So,
well, I mean, to be fair, if I made that movie, I would want it to be seen in a cinema.
But I also really a sequel, though. It's the conclusion of the movie.
Yeah, that's why I say as a work of cinema, it's gorgeous. As a movie, it's shit. There is not a single character that has an arc. The movie ends before there is any resolution. Everyone at the beginning of the film is exactly where they are when that film ends. Nothing. No arcs except for the people who die.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm about to invest 6 hours in like the making of Let It Be that I already know the ending to. So I'm probably going to be okay with this. So.
Yeah, but also don't get me wrong. I mean, I watched it. I watched it one afternoon, and I'm not saying I had a horrible time. It is one of the best made movies that I think is a bad film, and that I've ever seen. And I will watch it again because it is gorgeous.
Am I going to have a better? So in terms of that, am I going to have a better time seeing Dune or House of Gucci?
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Because that looks like a train wreck.
Hold on. Okay. So having spent the better part of the last month at fucking film festivals with really fucking annoying people when they can only have 10 in a room and 9 of them are annoying, don't see House of Gucci.
Really? It depends on how much you want to watch.
How terrible is House of Gucci? Because that may increase my interest.
Al Pacino. That's all you need to go to see is Al Pacino.
No, it depends on how bad you want to watch Adam Driver and Lady Gaga fuck, I think.
It's just if you're really into like
is it Hansel and Gretel? Is it Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters bad? I really need to know because if it is, I'm going.
No, it's not that bad. But if you were like into fashion like you and I aren't, you probably won't like it.
Come on, we are all fashionistas.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
We are dressed. It is a 9 cents.
It is a great movie for costuming. It's a great movie for a soundtrack, right? And it's great to see Al Pacino.
It's Cruella. It's Cruella.
But Cruella had a visual element to it. No, it's not terrible.
That was fashion.
By the way,
visual elements to them. I'm just saying.
Thank the pandemic for Cruella too.
I mean, to be fair, I saw it in between Memoria.
That's why you're getting a sequel.
And fucking Belfast. So
how was Belfast?
Belfast is amazing. The way it looks, I mean, the fact that the guy, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, that guy was in the 50 Shades of movies. Oh God, this is gonna be terrible. Oh, he can actually act. And I love Killian Hines, who's great at Judi Dench is like unrecognizable and she's great. And she's Judi Dench,
of course.
The most unrecognizable movie she's made since Cats.
Who apparently, showed up at the set every day.
Oh, the pain.
With whiskey because she's like, why are you drinking on set? She's like, I'm in Ireland, and that was her answer.
Oh my God!
And
the question is, why are you not drinking on set?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless.
That's great.
Yeah, Belfast is good. I saw Memoria, which
I
don't know if you've heard. Okay, so it's got Tilda Swinton in it. It's a Colombian movie, and it's Neon who's doing it. It's only releasing it in one city at a time, in one theater in each city.
What is it? I mean,
I'm okay. How do I?
So they want us to die.
Yes, it will. If you think Dune is slow. Right? If this thing is slower than fucking Roma and Dune, right? And it's 3 hours long.
What is it?
I'm trying to explain it to you, all right? It's like trying to explain like Gigi Allen to like a nun.
Whoa.
If you stand here, it will happen shortly.
So Tilda Swinton is a woman who's in Colombia because her sister is sick. and she hears a strange sound, this like weird, and she's the only person who hears the sound, and she's on a quest to figure out what the sound is and what it means.
Okay.
And she's going from place to place trying to figure out what it is. And right when it gets really interesting, there's like a 24-minute scene of a guy sleeping, and she's watching him sleep, and it's quiet, right? It looks amazing. Parts of it are really great, but Jan and I are both like, what the fuck was this, right?
So wait a minute. So what you're saying is during that scene, that's when you should go pee.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same exact thing.
It's just kind of like
refill your popcorn.
What does the AMC
I
app
don't
say
really
for
know.
when to go pee?
I don't really
Pretty
know.
much this entire
I saw it
half
4
hour.
days ago, and I still don't know what it was. It's kind of in my head in this way that I'm like, and like all these people who were film critics there are like, this guy's like, well, I saw it in this is the fourth time I've seen it. I'm like, okay. He goes, I saw it at the New York Film Festival. I was like, oh, did you like it? He goes, yeah, the tickets were $30. It was at Lincoln Center, and you had to wait, you paid $30 to see this and sit in a balcony? And so this is what, I'm like, okay, I don't get that. I have a friend of mine who like reviews films like legitimately for like a paper, and I'm like, what am I missing?
I mean, there are those films. I mean, 24 minutes of a guy sleeping doesn't really sound like my taste, but there are.
It's just.
I get it, but it's like
it's aesthetically in terms of how it looks and how it sounds and how and it's great. But Tilda Swinton's kind of like numb the whole movie. It's like, okay, Tilda Swinton, when are you gonna be fucking Tilda Swinton? Because right now I'm getting Bonnie Franklin here. I'm not getting fucking Tilda Swinton, right?
But I mean, I was trying to describe recently the movie, and I don't know if anybody's seen it, but the saddest music in the world. I was trying to describe that movie to my friend, and I'm like,
it's kind of like that in some of the pacing.
Okay,
right?
So that does. So yeah, so that was because it's one. There's certain films that you watch and you don't know how you feel at the end. I've seen Primer 6 times, and I still don't really know how I feel about it.
It's like, I haven't been this perplexed about a movie since I saw those Matthew Burney films. That weird guy that does the shit with the gelatin that used to date Bjork. All of his films have like fucking gelatin getting cut in it.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, it's one of those movies. It sounds like one of those movies where you don't know if the emperor has no clothes. It's like.
No, I get why you're trying to figure out what this sound is, and I get that this sound is like, and they had this really cool idea. She's in the rainforest, and there's these ancient tribes there, and there's a whole spirit connection to it, and they're getting into the mythos of it, and they don't fucking do anything with it. Sorry.
So basically, it's
Dune's okay.
Weird art house version of the Muppet song "There's a New Sound."
No, it's like.
But strangely enough, his description did kind of ring true with how I felt about Dune.
Yeah,
and the fact that,
it's kind of like. It's kind of like when you hear a Laurie Anderson song and you're like, I don't get it, but it's a movie.
So it's very, very pretty, but it's all set up and nothing happens yet.
But I love Laurie Anderson, which is different. But yeah, no, it's just kind of like.
As opposed to saddest music in the world, which is probably more Kate Bush.
Yeah. Oh, I sent this to Widge, but JJ, have you heard about this Kate Bush Big Boy record?
No.
God, I want to.
They've made a record together.
He's been trying to get that done for years.
I can tell you, I called a friend.
He's been stalking that woman for years.
I called a friend of mine who works in music licensing.
Rob.
It's done.
The man is in enough pain as it is.
Yeah. No,
and you're just adding to it, you monster.
Look, if Kate Bush is going to sing on a fucking record, she's not just going to no, it's done. It's done, and there's a video.
Yeah.
So
it's a mammoth task to get Kate Bush in a studio at this point. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm very interested in it because he's been talking about this for years, basically trying to get her on something. So
I mean, the concept is kind of amazing. It's kind of like, because you always go to the Reese's peanut butter kind of, you got your peanut butter and my chocolate, but this is more like, I don't know, you got your your dermastone
He's such a
and
Kate
your
Bush
mayonnaise.
fanboy.
I
He,
just want-
he has been like,
Yeah.
this is what he's been leading up to. I've had dinner with her like twice, and I've been trying to get her to do this.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
one
she
thing-
said no to the gorillas, and she did not say no to him.
He is such a fanboy for her. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm sure
I'm
that's
interested.
Before I forget, Widge, about your review of Dune, how
Yeah.
you talked about how they seem to have grown Jason Momoa and a vat to be Duncan Idaho.
Yeah. So you got my joke. That's the joke, Scott.
No, it's just in one of the sequels they actually
Yes.
do grow a Duncan
Yes,
Idaho.
Scott.
Yes.
That's the joke, Scott.
I didn't know if you
Hang
knew
on.
that.
Hang
Spoilers.
on. I'll write it
Spoilers.
down for you.
Spoilers.
I
Wait, do we have a spoiler thing that's about the size of like the neat coffee
You know-
thing?
Actually, hold on. Let me
You
see.
do not.
If you make enough sequels,
Here we go.
eventually Timothy
There we
Chalamet
go.
will
Thank
be a
you.
worm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like 3 or 4 movies in where
When he
Timothy
did- yeah.
Chalamet would become a sandworm.
I
They-
will say this about Dune. While Timothy Chalamet's not my favorite thing in it, I did leave it
Yes.
go.
By the way,
leave it- I did
by the
leave
way,
it
the
thinking-
additional
Fuck you.
I did leave it
the
thinking.
additional Spider-Man will also be grown in a vat.
Really? That's awesome.
Well, I mean, the Clone Saga. That's the next movie,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes,
Oh, God.
obviously now the logical step is to introduce Ben Reilly. That is the logical step now.
Oh god.
So does this mean the Electric Company Spider-Man is it like a prequel, or is he in like a separate universe, or?
I think honestly,
I would
he is
love
in
it
a
if he
separate
was-
universe that is probably listed on the Marvel site.
He's in No Way
almost
Home.
positive.
And honestly,
I mean, we know
No,
Nicholas
he's not.
Hammond isn't in No Way Home.
No, the
We know
Spider-Man
that-
from the Electric
even-
Company isn't, because they tracked him down, and he's like, "I'm not in it. They didn't ask me, but I didn't expect him to."
I would
But I-
hope that if they introduced the Spider-Man from the Electric Company, complete with thought balloons,
Yeah,
that he's going to be in the next Sony Spider-Verse film. That would
Oh.
be where I would want
I
to
would
see
be so I would be so happy, and only 3 people would get it.
Oh yeah.
I would be
But
so happy.
no, I like I said, when when Tom Hardy appeared on something wearing a Spider-Man No Way Home production hat, basically I'm almost positive to troll fans. I said I hope Tom Holland is printing those and giving them to everyone, including Nicholas Hammond, including the guy who played Spider-Man in Japan.
Yep.
I mean,
Turkish
everybody.
Spider-Man.
You know,
Yeah.
Mexican
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Do you know about the end of credit scene in Venom 2?
I haven't seen
no,
Venom 2, but I do
have
know
not. No, I've not seen it.
that let's not talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Thank you.
Let's just say connections are made.
Let's just
That-
say nothing is set in stone.
That
True.
Yes.
the sneezing.
True.
That scene
Yeah.
with the sneezing was just amazing.
Scott, I don't want to get sick. Can you put on a fucking mask?
Sorry.
It was me who sneezed, but anyway, Scott still put on a
John,
mask.
put on a goddamn mask.
I mean, pretty much until I'm in a movie, seeing things happen, including no matter what I see on this trailer for No Way Home. When I do eventually watch it, I'm just assuming everything is they're going to Ralph Boner everything.
So
You
it's
know.
like a quantum
Got it.
superposition.
In a series that has
Of course it is.
in a series that has or in a universe that has Skrulls and life model decoys and all this shit. I mean, no, nothing's happening till it happens.
Well, and the other thing too to bear in mind is Secret Invasion is coming,
Yep.
Uh-huh.
and somebody at some point they have to reveal that somebody who is dead is not dead.
I've already
And-
heard. Oh yeah, you're right. That is going to happen.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the Electric Company Spider-Man. I told you there was an actual Earth number.
Nice.
And they always, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've already
wow.
heard lots of people basing on that first Spider-Man trailer or teaser trailer that that Doctor Strange is going to be a Skrull because he's not acting correct. I'm like, fuck it. Let's just let the movies happen.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
It's a thing. That's what the fan. I mean, that was the big thing with WandaVision. I remember people were just speculating all over the place.
No,
And they were all wrong.
I love.
I know.
No, not all of them.
I'm basically trying to avoid the trailers and reading about the movies because I just want to go and see a movie and
Although,
like it.
Can we talk about the Agatha announcement? That was fun.
That is.
I'm looking forward to what that could be.
I want it to be a drag house.
I want
it to be a drag house. The House of Harkness. She's the mother. It's like a remake of Pose.
That's the house thing.
I want that.
Martha Stewart Living. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She hosts a home show about decorating and cooking, and it's Catherine Hahn in character, and then you have different celebrities come on as themselves, having to deal with Agatha in character, and I would just watch that for fucking ever.
Yeah. Or if it is what Scott just said in a remake of Pose, it means we get more Evan Peters. So sweet.
It's like the cooking equivalent of Between Two Ferns.
Yeah, so that's my. I just, again, with Secret Invasion, I hope they do what they've been consistently doing thus far, and whereas Secret Invasion the comic didn't infuriate me like Civil War, it just greatly disappointed me because the pitch for it was awesome, and then it just rapidly deteriorated into bullshit. We're just going to reveal a bunch of characters of Skrulls, and then it sort of ends.
Yeah, I mean, but Civil War I will never forgive.
What, the comic?
Yeah, no, the movie's great.
No,
but the comic.
The comic is. I mean, it stopped me buying comics. I was so infuriated by. Me too. That I just left.
I mean, I never stopped buying comics for that long. I just, I'm like like an abused spouse. I'm like, they'll change and then go back.
I never came back. I honestly, I never came back.
The two events that
I've been gone.
The two events that pissed me off the most. The series 52 pissed me off so much that I've yet to buy another DC comic. And Civil War killed me from reading comics for a couple of years.
I will say this though. For DC, the Injustice comics that are the prequel to the video game, I don't know shit about the video game. The comics are fucking awesome.
They're making an animated movie of it. I'll watch it, but I'm not going to buy it.
It's out now, isn't it?
Might be.
I don't know. Well, just even if you legally acquired it somewhere, it would be worth your while because it's really, really good.
And I mean, DC owns two of my absolute favorite comic book characters in Firestorm and Static, but fuck that. I'm not. You're not going to make me buy a year's worth of weekly comics at fucking $5 a pop.
Yeah.
And then by the last issue have the status quo exactly the same as the beginning, and so there was no
the
reason
old
to
escape hatch you had for that was Vertigo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like Vertigo and Dark Horse Presents, and Dark Horse Presents is still around, sort of, but now you don't have Vertigo really. So is that my only experience is this with the X-Men and bad writing. And then I went to Vertigo. Then I went to the Vertigo side of the house and kind of stayed there for a while until like Morrison came in. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Morrison, also a run of the X-Men that I know I'm against the grain here, but I fucking hated.
I hate
it.
I didn't like it either.
Hate it.
That's fair.
It started off amazing and then rapidly deteriorated into shit.
Yeah.
The Wild Sentinels story was a fantastic idea. They had Sentinels that were basically ripping apart the Blackbird and putting the parts on themselves. To me, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I personally don't like it when I'm reading a comic where the writer is ahead of the characters. That's kind of how I feel about the modern day X-Men stuff. It's fine, but you're reading, it's like, what if Jonathan Hickman did all of his Jonathan Hickman stuff with the X-Men?
Yeah.
And so,
it's curious to see how that's going to be upheld with Hickman now out of the line. So,
but he still rubbed his stink all over it.
Well, so my question is, when you say the writer is ahead of the characters, I mean, the writer is always ahead of the characters because the writer. So what do you mean? I just want to understand.
Okay,
I think what he means in like the way that Morrison, especially in the X-Men run near the what you're talking about, kind of starts winking at the audience, kind of.
There's that, but there's
on
also
purpose.
the fact that the Morrison run, right at the beginning of the Morrison run, introduces one of the most Morrison characters that ever Morrisoned, and that's this
Grant
guy.
Morrison.
This is a
cafeteria. He introduced the cafeteria.
This is a series that went so far as to have a guy with a sentient digestive system, named Maggot, and that wasn't but that wasn't far enough out there. No, Grant Morrison gets a hold of it, and he was like, "This dude has a theoretical sun for a brain. His brain, the pocket of where his brain sits is possibly an entire universe that sort of sits in the sort of theoretical space that is his brain." That's fine, but that is, you read that and you're like, this is a Morrison concept. This is not an X-Men character. This is a Morrison character.
I never know if you guys are just bullshitting me or not when it comes to shit like this.
I'm not.
I have the omnibus of this. I can look it up.
But eventually and here's where it gets. This is where comics get real weird, though, Scott. Eventually, that dude turned out to be Magneto, but the actual dude really existed. He just wasn't in that series.
What? That was several retcons down the line, and technically two very terrible, more terrible writers. Much more terrible writers after that.
I don't think I can read comics. They'd be bad for my mental health. I'd be like just losing touch with the reality.
Comics are kind of like ordering random at a restaurant. Sometimes you'll get things you really like, sometimes you don't. And then when you get something you really don't, you just stop and wait till somebody takes over. I'm not really reading X-Men stories right now. I know that a lot of people are telling me how much they love this whole line. But the only series out of all of them that I was enjoying was Kitty Pryde and the Marauders, but I'm not, I don't give a shit enough to follow it.
Duggan's writing the mainline X-Men book now. It's actually really good.
I mean, I like him.
Which is a team book, and it's not on Krakoa. It's in New York. So,
oh fuck! Thank you.
They're trying to put the team in. There is the Krakoa stuff is still happening, but the team is in New York. There is a team of superheroes in New York. There is actually an X-Men in the X-Men book, which I appreciate. So,
well, I will say that I really enjoyed House of X and Powers of X, as I think I mentioned before, but then they didn't follow through on the concept, meaning because what I loved was the idea of, okay, we're actually going to get our shit together and we're all going to join up, and you had the weird thing of Apocalypse and Magneto and Mr. Sinister and all on the same side, and they made it make sense. But then they're like, oh, we're going to take it seriously now, the fact that we're, being put upon by humans. And then they didn't take it seriously. And that just sort of pissed me off. That being said, the Planet-Size X-Men one-shot that they did probably has the most spectacular pooled usage of mutant powers to say, what crazy shit could these people do if they actually work together? It's probably one of my favorite things I've ever seen somebody do in comics, because it's not, in my mind, it's not Morrison-esque, because it all makes sense based on their power, based on the powers that they're doing. But they're taking them to their logical conclusion and saying, okay, well, if you do this, I can do this, and then you can do that. And when you have that many mutants together, what they pull off, you just go, okay, that's fucking crazy, but I'll go for it, sure. But the rest of it, I just, it's like, oh, we're going to take this seriously, but we're going to, let us, no spoilers, because of course he didn't die. We're going to let assassins come in and kill Professor X. It's
technically the whole gimmick is that nobody dies. So
Well, and again,
the whole gimmick of that is if nobody dies, what does that mean? So,
right? No, and that is a great question to ask. And the way that they did, I mean, Swords of X was weird, but they at least turned that on its head. So they turned it on its head by saying nobody dies, and we're going to admit that because we've actually written something into it where it makes sense that no one would die. And then, oh, but wait a minute. Once you're over here, in this alternate dimension, you'll die and they can bring you back, but you're going to be basically a gestalt of all these various alternate versions of yourself all at once. I'm like, okay,
and
again,
also, and Wedge,
that's fucking crazy. I'll go with it.
Just to throw in a little something that you probably didn't see. When they did the copies of everyone, there's bits of Onslaught in everyone.
Oh yeah, I did. I actually did read that.
You caught that bit? Okay, good.
I thought that was actually well executed, to be perfectly honest. I thought that basically a hell of a lot better than Onslaught's been used before.
Yeah, there's been a whole bit about basically that Legion is basically lying in wait to kill him if Onslaught shows up.
Yeah.
I also know that
you probably have. There's
go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that. I mean, I also know that part of my deal is that, and I know they always say this, like the thing is like your first Doctor is your favorite Doctor and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that part of it is when I started reading X-Men was a series that progressed, so people were in the X-Men and graduated out of the X-Men and they had lives that progressed, and now they just reset it every year or so. And so instead of having characters that, grow up and evolve out of it, they're just a Katamari that just sort of just keeps adding characters. It'd be like if I think Kurt Busiek tried it a little bit with the Avengers, where everyone was an Avenger that was ever an Avenger was still an Avenger. But I mean, if they actually gave us a title, like 18 different Avengers titles, and like there was one that was nothing but Dr. Druid and Gilgamesh and Star Fox, I mean, nobody would give a shit because it's too diluted.
Well, at this point, as I've pointed out elsewhere,
I mean, let's face it, Conan's an Avenger now.
Yeah, everyone has been an Avenger. Like Blade is an Avenger now. Shang-Chi's an Avenger. Everybody's been an Avenger. I think JJ, you were an Avenger for 2 issues. I don't know if you remember that or not. I know John's been on the reserve roster for years.
I will say Savage Avengers is pretty freaking fun. It's been I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun book. But.
Well, and that's the other thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying about the Avengers. Is the Avengers can, if they want to have the Punisher be an Avengers for a couple of years, why the fuck not? But then when
they're doing that.
But when his story's done, be done with it, and then and then tell the story of
which is also why Savage Avengers is ending.
Well, it's interesting because part of the reason why I didn't give a shit about Avengers every time I checked into it when I was reading comics in bulk, basically, is because every time I checked in, it was some weird conglomeration of characters that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get into it. And, it was never like Justice League where it was like, there's certain, for the most part, apart from some arcs, like, well, at least when I was reading comics in bulk, it was always the main Justice League folks and then some additional folks around here. But so it was always, but the Avengers, it never worked for me until they did New Avengers with Bendis.
Yeah.
And he brilliantly made it work where it was essentially the Marvel Justice League. And like, here's all of our heavy hitters. We're going to make it make sense that they're in this, including Spider-Man, which he, basically made it make sense for Spider-Man to finally officially join the Avengers in one panel. And then made it finally.
It's one of my favorite Spider-Man moments.
Absolutely. Well, it's not even the money one, which I remember as well. But my favorite was Captain America is going to recruit him, and he says, "I don't know. I'm more kind of a loner. I'm not a team person." And Cap just goes, "And how's that working out for you?" And that's it. And he's in. And I was just like, "That's fucking brilliant." And they did the same thing with Wolverine. One panel, made total sense for Wolverine to join. And so, as opposed to, because I remember when Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Punisher were in fucking everything. Every month, they were at least in 5 titles, guest starring to try to get you to buy it. So the fact that somebody actually bothered to come up with a really good reason for Wolverine to join another team, I was just so thrilled. And then they
including the Fantastic Four for like 3 or 4 issues.
Yeah. Well, then they did do Avengers Disassembled after like 22 issues, and I was heartbroken, and they can fuck off.
Yeah. Okay, well, I need to bail. I really have to get out of this chair. So you take care of yourself.
No, take care.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, in X-Men, they've tried the reductions, they've tried to do things, and the only problem is, I think the problem is with X-Men, it keeps whacking somebody's favorite character, so they have to have 9 books.
I mean, I remember when they did what was it, Decimation or whatever it was,
House of M.
After House of M, because House of M I thought was great.
Yeah,
but Decimation was when Wanda said no more mutants, and then you only had like 100 mutants. But then they basically were like, oh well, we can't have Iceman have no powers, so
exactly
they kept undoing it, and I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ. So I get where JJ's coming from. My thing is, it's like, look, either have continuity and progress the story, or be Peanuts and be frozen in time, and no one ever ages, and no one ever thinks that. No, you never go to Peanuts and read it and go, well, surely, by now, Snoopy would have passed away like 3 times, then we would have Snoopy the 4th or something. No one gives a shit.
Woodstock would have been eaten by Eagle.
What's that?
Woodstock would have been eaten by Eagle. Wait, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, nobody does that. Nobody does that. So if you did that with, I'm like, make up your mind. What are you doing? Are you putting it in a stasis bubble, or are you progressing the story?
Well, the problem is, it sounds like they don't know. It sounds like they don't really have like a Kevin Feige in the cinematic universe to say, okay, we're doing this.
Well, that's what they have been doing. That's what they've been doing, especially in the case of the X-Men books for the last couple of years with Hickman. Now, whether or not you want to argue that that's the direction they should be going in, I mean, that's what they did. They gave Hickman the books for 3 years, and that's the direction we've gone.
Yeah, and having seen that they were doing something different, even the parts that I didn't like, I at least said, okay, well, at least they're doing something that I've not seen before.
Yeah.
And it's come up with some great stories, even though a lot of them are not so great. But of course, the part of the problem is we know it's going to be undone at some point, and it's going to go back to whatever the status quo was.
It's going to be really hard to do unless they do, because they kind of, there's one of the X-Men specials where they kind of, but they've destroyed the mansion before, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the mansion comes back. It's Kenny.
That seems to be the problem. No matter how high the stakes are, no matter what you do, it just feels like something happens and they're going to reset the status quo.
Well, but here's what I like about the MCU is that comics fans will put up with that shit. Movie fans will not. So, like, for example, if you were to bring back Chris Evans and make him Captain America again and displace Sam Wilson after that amazing character arc, people would, I don't think they'd stand for it. They'd lose their fucking minds.
I even though it's mine, I still like my Deadpool idea. I'm just saying.
Which one's that?
Old Man Logan and Old Man Steve.
Oh yeah. Oh.
As Wardorf and Statler in the next Deadpool.
I just want
you got the multiverse now. Pull that.
Old man. I want Old Man Cap to be sitting in the audience of Rogers the Musical.
Yes.
In Hawkeye. Just Not even make a big deal about it. Just in an audience pan, you just catch that he's.
You know what?
Catching it,
I want Rogers the Musical. Actually, if we can get that separate from Hawkeye, that would be great.
Considering
Here's
that
the question: Who would make Rogers the Musical? Lloyd Webber?
Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda.
Okay.
He's already worked with Disney. It's a no-brainer.
The Avengers rap battle.
But but I think considering that we got the quote-unquote Zemo cut out of Falcon and Winter Soldier, if enough people demand Rogers the Musical, they'll do it because they appreciate
They
that.
ain't going to say no to money. They ain't going to say no to money. They'll probably do it.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the Shang-Chi Assembled on Disney Plus is quite good. So
I was going to ask I hadn't looked if there was one. So, okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I will go back and look at that.
Yeah. When they talk to, they're like, oh yeah, we brought in experts in martial arts cinema, and it's like, these two guys, they work with Jackie Chan's shop. Okay, done. So no, that's good, and I am looking forward to Hawkeye, and then I don't think we know what's next, right? I saw somebody speculating that She-Hulk might show up before Ms. Marvel.
They're still working on She-Hulk, aren't they? They're still filming it, aren't they?
No, production is apparently done.
Okay.
And what I had read also was that, like with Loki, they were still doing post on the finale when the first episode aired. So as long as they have enough runway, I think they could launch something before the whole thing was done.
Because I think we may get a few of the animated shows before that. Because they've got some of them are well underway. So,
well, that would be good. I know that What
If is already.
What's that?
No, I said I know. There's the one episode of What If that got slid into season 2.
Gamora,
so,
yeah.
I know there's that one. And I know What If is in production. All of this stuff is in production.
But we
I don't know how far along X-Men is. I don't know how far along X-Men is. I don't know how far along Zombies is, but they've already got the character design, so they're pretty much halfway there. So,
are you talking about X-Men 97?
Yeah.
Like I said, I want Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 83.
Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised. I would not be.
Oh wait, don't they have that? Don't they have that like Disney Junior show with Spider-Man and like wee Spider-Man and wee Gwen and wee Miles? Don't they have that already?
They might.
Maybe.
No, they did. I was clicking around the other day and I saw it. Also, just on a separate note, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, there is a Lego set. Have you seen the Daily Bugle Lego set?
No.
There is a Daily Bugle Lego set that's out. If you go to the Lego store, there's a Daily Bugle Lego set that has it's a big play set that you build, and it includes Firestar.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you get a little Firestar minifig. There is no Iceman, but you get Firestar, which I thought was interesting.
Make aware of that. So,
or could they introduce like comic? Could they introduce like a version of like Spider-Man 83 and a What If?
Yeah.
They actually had. They had. What was it? The Spider-Man X-Men book that was out for a while, where they'd actually done that as a storyline, where they had Firestar guesting, and they had, because it was one of the Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man and the X-Men. It was like a. It turned out to be a limited series. They were planning it being a regular series, but it gets killed like everything else. But it was a book where Peter Parker was one of the teachers at the Xavier Institute.
Oh, okay.
It was basically the setup was Peter Parker was teaching science at the Xavier School, and one of the storylines in that was basically a plot with him and Iceman and Firestar, and it was a they did a storyline with that. So, so they actually have done that in the comics, although it's in one continuity and it's, Krakoa's happened. So that's not a thing we do anymore. So we can't have fun things.
But it's do we have any definite dates on series, or is that still?
No, they're not dating anything. No. They're not dating shit at this point.
They may not be able to yet. I mean,
that's also true. I mean, we know Miss Marvel. We think Miss Marvel's probably going to go in the summer at this point, because the Marvels is now November. Is that what it is now? I didn't look.
Let me see.
I think it's November now.
I'm looking.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm wondering because it's like they seem to be doing shows in a relative. I mean, they've taken breaks. But
I know. Echo is filming now, and that has a connection to Hawkeye, so we'll probably get that soonish. I don't know how far along in the pipe Moon Knight is, but I think Moon Knight's almost ready.
Yeah.
So we might. There's a couple of things that we might get sooner because things got shifted, but nobody's announcing dates on anything.
Yeah.
I know what Book of Boba Fett is actually we are actually getting that like in December. So
is that going to be their that could be their big show?
That's in the place of Mandalorian proper, I believe.
Yeah. Doesn't Hawkeye come up before that too? So
yeah, Hawkeye will be before Book of Boba Fett.
There's
Hawkeye's
2 episodes of Hawkeye.
Weekend.
Yeah, there's 2 episodes of Hawkeye next week. And then Book of Boba Fett starts in December.
Nice.
But we don't know what's happening next year.
I don't think... Well, I mean, aside from the movie schedule right now, I mean, they don't really know what's... Because again,
it's like whatever shows up first, slap it on there.
Well, I think the other part of the equation is how long they have a tentative dateline for how long Black Panther 2 is going to be back in production. But Letitia Wright's injury was in August, and that was the given reason for the delay was her injury, which she still has not recovered from yet. So
would that injury be her mouth?
No, part of the
there was an actual injury.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Okay,
there was actually a stunt injury.
Okay.
Part of the problem is they were cutting it way too close on Black Panther 2. So all you needed was something that even put you back I mean, in this case, it's been several weeks, but all you needed was a couple weeks of delay, and that would completely fuck them. So they were being way optimistic on a lot of their dates. So, but
I believe they were shooting in Boston in August, and there was some sort of incident during a stunt.
Yeah.
They weren't real clear about that, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and now she's in England and she can't get here.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's part of it too.
They've opened up travel. I thought
she's not vaccinated.
She's not vaccinated.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? They wrote somebody out of that 911 series because they weren't vaccinated, and I'm like, awesome, keep it up.
Well, they kind of can't write her out now, can they? Having shot half.
See, that's the thing. That's
Which is a shame.
Well, she could just,
God forbid we make Angela Bassett Black Panther. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
Ooh.
You know what I'm thinking about, Widge. You know the movie I'm thinking about.
What, Strange Days?
Oh yeah, I always think about Strange Days. It has, you know. But no, that's when I first got my crush on Angela Bassett, is watching her provide beatdowns in Strange Days.
So is anything else going on?
Yeah, well, okay, I'm going to throw this out. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Toughly, go.
Well, no, you might want to ask your question before I ask mine. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just going to ask,
is anyone planning on watching Wheel of Time? Because I have no idea really what the hell it is because I never read any of the books.
No.
Again, this is a I don't care about sort of thing. But John, you had your hand up, so enlighten us.
I'm doing a when it comes out a scout ahead to see if the way is clear, and then signal my wife in to come on in if it's well.
Does it suck or is it yeah
exactly.
If it's anything like their red carpet show where the people that did the interviews were like, horrible.
To be fair to all red carpet shows are horrible.
This was particularly bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Okay, so I guess
I'm kind of curious about that, and I'm going to start Foundation this week because a bunch of people have talked about that.
I mean, Dragon Con used to have a whole track dedicated to Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
So
no,
but I still have
it just sort of zoomed past me.
That's okay.
I what is it? Coke and Pepsi? You pick one and you just stay with it.
Yeah.
I chose the Lord of the Rings side of the fence and just never went anywhere else. And I never tried the Dr. Pepper. I never tried Pepsi. I never tried
Fresca.
I never tried Fresca. What is Fresca in this analogy? I'm curious now.
What would be the Faygo?
Is that like?
Yeah.
Is that like Perth? Is that the Fresca of the fantasy genre? Is that what that is?
Pern.
Okay, Pern.
Fresca would be Pern, yeah. Jesus.
Send your hate mail to Tuffley.
Do you want to put my ad back up?
So, and Scott may not be able to help with this too. So Tuffley, can I ask you a question?
Is this about the thing I was going to ask you? Go ahead.
What the fuck is going on with Doctor Who?
Okay.
Yeah, I have thoughts.
I mean, I've heard what they're thinking of doing, and they're nuts.
I haven't heard shit. And here's the thing. I feel better watching this series going in blind and not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Because I at least have hope. So
the problem is anytime, and I like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, but anytime I see Joe Martin, I'm like, oh, I don't care about that Doctor. I want the one I haven't seen. I just want her. Because she's great. She's better than and a lot of it is the way they've written for Jodie.
Two things. One, where the hell is the Fugitive Doctor action figure, right? Because as far as the merch goes, we have had action figures for people who have only been in one episode. Like that cat dude that was in that one episode. Go ahead.
Time out. Does that mean Tommy Lee Jones was the master at some point?
Yes.
I was going to ask, not knowing anything about along the same lines, which not knowing anything about Doctor Who, is the fugitive Doctor Who just come with one arm? Marty got one arm removed? Or?
Yes. Yeah. No.
I'm surprised
you and I were on the same wavelength.
John, I'm surprised you don't know this, being such good friends with Sylvester McCoy.
He's the only true Doctor, if you think about it. Him and
he would agree. The thing is, he would actually agree with you.
He would agree with you.
It's him and the other guy.
Cushing.
The one you at home listening like. That's the other one I'm talking about.
It's him and Cushing. Those are the real Doctors. Actually, we can work this for Timeless Child to actually include the Cushing Doctor.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Anybody on board with this? Okay.
It's just, I get that they're trying to not have you understand what you're watching and get it. It's like random. It's like watching, Waiting for Godot, but you're like still waiting. But I don't know how they're going to wrap it up in six episodes.
They're probably not. That's probably going to be a direct lead into the specials, and that has never been my expectation that they were going to wrap it up.
But I also think too that they're trying to be too clever, and it's kind of fucking it up.
You know what? I don't agree with that.
I'll have to see what the payoff is though before I really get
Yeah, that's why I haven't been doing episode reviews of this, because I need to see like all 6 episodes to like form a judgment on this thing. And I can tell you the things I like about it.
Dan's great.
I like John Bishop, and again, it's this thing of you don't expect the comedians to be as good as they end up being. Like, Catherine Tate really surprised me when she was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna forget shoot.
Well, McCoy was a comedian.
No, yeah, McCoy.
George Lazenby?
Nardole. Who played Nardole?
Matt Lucas.
Matt Lucas was really amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was really good. Usually when they bring the comedians in, the comedians are really, really good. Yeah. And my familiarity with John Bishop, and I said this, I think on one of the panels, was the only thing I've seen him in is like panel shows and Top Gear. That time he led the leaderboard on Top Gear. That was it. But I really do like what they're doing with his character. I like Jacob Anderson's character.
Yeah.
I like Vinder. That was, and the thing they did in the last episode, I really like the way they set up his character.
I did like the Centaurians.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mandip's still kind of getting the short stick on this, and I don't understand why, because she's been on the show the longest, and I thought we were going to get some character development here, and we're just not.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed in that, because I kind of thought, and my opinion on this is, I kind of felt like Bradley Walsh is a really good actor, and they threw all the emotional stuff to him for 2 years, and we kind of ran out of story for Graham and Ryan. In the first year, because they ran all of it out because they didn't think they were going to get Bradley Walsh back for the second year. And they kind of didn't, because back injury. But, they kind of exhausted that storyline. And then they didn't give Yaz anything. Right.
Well, they started to give her stuff, and then,
except for that one bit in Can You Hear Me, which is like, okay, now we're going to get somewhere with this. And we don't. So that is my only complaint about it. But I mean, as far as Flux goes, I love the fact that the cliffhangers are back.
I'm okay with that.
That they're actually these are actual for real cliffhangers. My only complaint is, and I've actually stopped doing this. I stopped doing this after the first episode. I just cut it off when the credits start.
Yeah, I do too.
Because the next time trailer is unnecessary and stupid. If you're trying to do for the serial format, don't show us the previews. Show them as a thing that you run after the program, but don't make it part of the episode. Don't make it part of the runtime.
Did they have a next time during the classic? I don't know when they ran on BBC.
No,
they'd have the voice. They'd have the voiceover next on BBC4 cooking.
They have continuity announcements.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if they want to just bring continuity announcements back and be vague about it, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah. That'd be even better, Yeah. No, I just, a lot of it is they are not. I don't know how Russell's going to get out of this.
Here's the thing: whatever's going to happen, they're going to give it a clean slate, and he's going to do whatever he's going to do.
Yeah. And the
other thing:
the old series is not going to exist at all.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing. The other thing is, we're still 2 years away from whatever Russell's going to do, so I don't give a shit. I really don't. And I'm okay with people going, great, the current show sucks and we can't wait for Russell to get back. But the thing I posted on Twitter was, the thing I said on Twitter when this was announced was, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to know anything for a while.
Yeah.
So either watch the show you've got, or there's other hobbies you can go do. Forza 5 Horizon is out, so play that.
When I saw that they brought back Russell, my worry was that it was going to be how they brought back J.J. Abrams to do The Rise of Skywalker. We've gotten too woke. We need somebody to out there. So we need somebody to
I think if you're trying to stay away from wokeness, and this was a point we talked about on the panel, one of the panels at DragonCon. I think if you're worried about wokeness, the two people you don't go to is Straczynski and Russell. Which they ended up going to Russell. I mean,
unless
here's what I would like. I would like a little bit of the bite and fire that's been in It's a Sin in Years and Years. That would be great for Doctor Who if that's the direction they go in. But I don't think that's the direction he's going to go in.
I really hope, because he gave like a very fiery speech. He accepted some sort of LGBT award, and he was like, "It includes the T." And I'm really hoping he brings in a trans companion just to piss the BBC off, because the BBC has been fucking awful.
Well, again, it's impossible to know what he's going to do. He said a lot of shit. Russell's been spending 2 years talking a lot of shit about what he'd do if he were in charge of Doctor Who, like he didn't know this was coming. So we'll see what of those things he ends up doing.
Yeah.
If it's I'm gonna do Doctor Who in the MCU, if I'm gonna MCU Doctor Who, awesome, fine, I'm cool with that as long as it's all good. I'm good with a unit show. I'm good with unit instead of Torchwood. I'm good with whatever he wants to do. I'm good with spinoffs. I'm good with whatever. But exactly.
Did you get the?
Well, all right. Well, hang on. Let's pour the 40s out for Mr. Baker. Just saying. Thank you.
Yes.
Did you get the really clever Catherine Tate nod in this week?
Yes, I did. That
was cool.
And again, a lot of people were like very, very oh, I'm so confused about this episode, and I completely got it. So I'm wondering what's wrong with me.
I got it too. I mean, the last two have been better. The Santaran one was like kind of cool the way they set that up, but I think my big issue is like, you're coming off of a show where the writing's bad, and you want the writing to get better, and you're doing a season-long narrative, and I understand you're gonna memento the hell out of it, which I don't mind, but the average person at this point, not just the diehards, they'll watch it no matter what, but the average person, if you're just trying to get a show that's going to get, Joe Couch Potato to watch it, they're going to be fucking lost.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think so, because Joe Couch Potato is watching Squid Game.
I don't know, man. I know a ton of people.
You don't need it to be. It can be as complex as you want, or as brutal as you want, and Joe Potato Couch Guy still shows up.
See, the thing is, that's why I like what they've been kind of doing, because they are trying to raise it to the level of modern prestige. And
I get that, but there's a thing between raising the bar and making it weird just for the sake of being weird. Now, to be fair, you can't completely judge this till we get the payoff.
Yeah,
and that's kind of why I'm holding off.
And part of the thing about Squid Game too is I think there's a certain point where it hits critical mass, where so many people are watching it, so more people start watching it, and then eventually it becomes like fucking Tiger King.
Tiger King.
You just go into it. Why the? Get out of my brain, John! It's like,
ladies and gentlemen, the Tiger King singularity has happened.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Please kill me.
But yeah, I just know that Doctor Who does not have that critical mass going where it's broken through to the regular public.
They desperately wanted to. They desperately wanted to.
And I think that's kind of the problem. I don't know if it can. I think that's the problem. I don't know if it can. I don't think they can get any better than Beloved English Treasure and Cultish Everywhere Else.
I think the problem is they got there when they had Tennant and Matt Smith, and it's gone away, and now they don't know how to get back.
Well, I think here's the thing with that though, and that has been my kind of bug for a while, which is, why would you? Why do you want to go back?
Because that's when they're selling the ads around the world.
Well, yeah, that's true. But again, it's one of those things where, yeah, you can argue the ratings. The ratings, if you were choosing a show and casting it for the widest net possible, Peter Capaldi was great, but you're following the two young. Well, yes, you're following the two. You know, the people aren't necessarily writing fanfic about Peter Capaldi unless you're doing, you know,
certain type of fanfic.
Unless you're doing political fanfic. But you know, he was fine. He's a great actor and he was a great doctor. It's just the problem is he's not young and attractive, and that's where you lost all the audience. That's where you lost half your younger viewers. And
part of the problem too is that you don't have the strength in writing. Because,
exactly.
I mean, yeah, I was on board for the Matt Smith first season, but the fact that it was Matt Smith didn't save me when I finally bailed.
Exactly.
Because I was just like, this has gone to shit. So
I still like my idea for what season 6 could have been, but you know,
Toughly, that's the thing, is that you ruin a lot of popular fiction.
I ruin a lot of shows.
Here's my brilliant idea. And you go, my God, that sounds amazing. And then it's never as cool as what Toughly comes up with. Just BBC, Toughly's rates are very reasonable. I think you should just hire Toughly.
You know, the reason you had the Pandorica in season 5 is because the Doctor caused everything, and that's why they're all after him in the next season. There you go.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But yeah, I mean that's really it. If you know, I've had these discussions with people. They don't really want to talk about the ratings. You don't really want to talk about the merch sales.
I know.
It's irrelevant and stupid. Is the show good?
But that's what they look at. That's what they're looking at. And that's where
you know. And if you're trying to get the widest net possible, again, you know, they with the casting with Jodie and you know, that casting, they were doing the thing that all the numbers they were looking at said to do. Like, let's not cast an old guy again. Let's cast someone younger. Everybody was said that, you know, we were looking at numbers. Let's cast the female protagonist. Okay. And then the internet exploded.
Because we live in the worst timeline.
Exactly. We live in the worst timeline. But, you know.
Yeah, but we have Tiger King.
We have Tiger King. Exactly. That is, you know.
Sylvester McCoy was the best Tiger King.
Yes, Sylvester McCoy was the best Tiger King. But, you know, wherever they're going to go next, the entire cast of It's a Sin, by the way, will just take turns playing the 14th Doctor.
Well, if they do the scene with the Daleks that was in It's a Sin in Doctor Who, that would be great.
Aren't they doing isn't that Russell's Big Finish?
Oh, I don't know.
Seriously?
Russell's Big Finish was my wrestling move at the when I was in junior high.
No, I just think they're like really trying to.
So it was his too.
I just feel like they're really trying too hard, and they're trying to throw all this stuff at a wall and make it stick in order to like please people when they don't have to necessarily worry about that.
But you know what? There's two arguments to that. One, I'm fine with that. Throw as much shit at the wall as you want. Get as weird as you want. Because I'm looking at Legends of Tomorrow thinking they're trying to out Doctor Who. And they've been pretty successful at it.
They've been getting weird. I mean, the whole timeless child thing, shit. That was something.
I'm fine with it. The only difference between Legends of Tomorrow and Doctor Who at this point is that Legends of Tomorrow just doesn't give a fuck. And that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's
just don't give a fuck.
That's part of the problem that you're talking about is that basically you either, again, it's the thing of they don't know what they want to be. Do you want to be cult weird show or do you want to be popular show? And you can't force the two to go together. No. It can organically happen, but you cannot just force it into that hole.
And I think in terms of that show, you're only going to get that maybe once or twice. Yeah. And you've technically with the Tom Baker, if you count the Tom Baker years from the classic show, you've had it twice. And everything else is going to be a decline of some sort. And either be good with that, either, you know, make the money you can make with that and accept that. And occasionally the audience will contract and expand as it has for the period of time that it has, or, you know, throw your chips in, go all the way, and make your mass populist move. But I think to Rob, to your point, I think part of it has to do with, do you keep all the baggage? Do you keep the history? Do you keep the continuity to make everybody happy and still try to do this other thing? Or do you just blow it all to hell and stick with the basic premise of the show and go forward?
Well, it didn't do well in the Star Trek movies.
Well, see, but here's the thing: it only had to work the first time because they made 2 others.
Yeah. But it's just like you're trying so hard to like make people happy when it's just write a good story and like make it interesting. And the problem is now that they're trying to, and they've actually written interesting stories, there's so many people that are like, it's almost like you fooled me twice. It's like, no, this isn't really well written yet, because you don't do that. Like you've already so gotten people in that rigid thinking that this is going to be.
That's the one thing that I do think. So the new series, since the show came back in 2005, looking at time, since the show came back in 2005, it's been based on this template of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because that was
Russell,
right.
Yeah.
So my theory about whatever the hell Russell's going to do when he comes back is obviously not going to be that show anymore. And the show has been, but the show's been going in that template for the whole 15 years of it, right? Mm-hmm. It's been in that Buffy mode. And, I don't know if anybody knows this, but spoiler, Buffy did not go 15 years. So maybe it's time for something else.
Yeah.
And the thing, the classic,
that's what they're trying with Flux, is they are presenting like what used to be like the season ender of a show. It's like they had like an old fashioned like Genesis of the Daleks or stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Chibnall's Chibnall's the old school critic anyway, right? We know this. And he's going to throw out, I think he tried to do something new. I think the second series, he tried to do the greatest hits tour, which succeeded in some places and did not in others. And I think this is just more of that. This is, okay, so you want the old stuff back? Okay, here it is. Do you want mine? You want
Key to Time?
You want Key to Time? Here it is. We're just going to throw it all in.
I think for his style of writing,
it just feels it's fun. But there's just an element of it feels a bit overwrought, but I still think it's fun, and I still think I enjoy it enough. I don't think it's getting any converts, and I don't really think that's what this is. I don't think I think what's going to happen is they're going to roll this out till we get to Russell, and then Russell's going to be where the converts come again, because that's what happened the first time. So, and at least that's what I assume the BBC hopes to happen. But I think when we get there, it's going to be completely different to what this has been. So that's But other than that, I don't know what he's going to do, and I don't give a shit what he's going to do until we get there.
It's entertaining to watch, and it's not completely horrible.
But I still want a Joe Martin action figure.
But you've been investing 30 years in this crap, and you're like, okay, you're just going to completely tell me that was all dumb and pointless and just gone, right? Which I get, but
I mean, if you wanted that, you'd read comics.
Yeah.
I think it's a time travel show. There's a way you can do it, and there's a way you can have both.
Yep.
But the way you can have both is to not play favorites with it. Just have the gumption, blow it up, and still have it there. You know what I mean? Just do it.
That's what Star Trek movies did.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so smart of them, is that they, just created an offshoot timeline, and so that the other timeline was still there, which was just brilliant. So
that was the smartest part about it. Rehashing Wrath of Khan after that was terrible, but
it was.
That wasn't the smartest thing to do, but otherwise that was pretty cool, because you can recontextualize the old things in a new way.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but the third one, Star Trek Beyond, was actually, a lot of people said it was really
Beyond
good.
was actually really good.
But the problem was But the problem was people were so burned by Into Darkness.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah,
bother.
and that's kind of what I think we have here. I mean, Chibnall's strength as a writer is doing these short mini-series things, and that's what he does well. And I think that's playing to a strength here, right? Is that he's able to spell out an arc, and it's got a finite start and a finite end, right?
Well, I think it also helps that he's not the only credited writer, but he is the through line on this, where
it's all you don't have to try to read other people's minds and stuff, but it's also too that because he's doing that, he might be getting too clever. But that is my fear. But we'll ask me in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm still not there yet. I'm enjoying it, and I don't think it's overbaked or underbaked.
I liked the Suntaran one. Last week was kind of.
But I did like this last episode. I did appreciate the character bits in this. I just, what I didn't appreciate was getting I don't understand what's going on after the first episode. It's episode 1 of 6. Figure it out. It'll happen.
Yeah, and I still like the fact that it is doing something that you're supposed to do and keep you on your feet and guessing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if there's tons of people just saying, okay, I'm done, and they're not even halfway through yet, then what's the problem? They can't all be the people.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the other thing. I've tried not to view the thing that I've been trying to do, at least in the last couple of years, is for me in my viewing experience, I need to get other people's expectations out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I need to kind of view a thing without seeing what everybody thinks about it before I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, that has kind of helped me experience this stuff better in a way that feels a little more pure than, going in and having like 3 people already tell me how good or bad it is. Or
I mean, I
would
still watch it and like it because it is what it is.
Isn't that what we do here?
Well, it is, but
Okay, just want to make sure you remembered that.
I just, we're in the game of takes. I know we're the take people, but
See, no. What John doesn't understand.
John, be aware we're bashing us.
John, what you don't understand is that he's talking about the other timeline Tuffley that does that. It's not that Tuffley. It's the Tuffley that's
it's a Tuffley variant.
I can compartmentalize the takes. I can do that.
Yeah.
To be fair,
it's how I got through middle school.
To be fair, the best episodes of Doctor Who of 2021 have been Loki. Sadly.
Yeah.
And that's also a hard problem for it to be because everybody's already gotten this, and now they're getting this, and they're like,
but that's
which is
again,
not fair. It's not fair.
Again, that's other people's expectations, and if you're going to keep doing that every time you watch a show, you're always going to be royally disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, it's perpetual disappointment.
I'm not disappointed with it. I'm just trying to think. Well, I think it could be better than what it is.
Most things can,
but again, we're having this before we've seen. I mean, the conversation him and I would have with this in 3 weeks is going to be completely different in some way, shape, or form. So
here's the thing. I'm not getting my hopes up in terms of expectations. I expect the Flux end of the storyline to be covered. I don't expect the character arcs to be finished because I don't think we're going to get there.
No,
I don't think that's what we're getting. We're going to get that in 3 episodes time.
The palette is too broad for them to pull back at this point.
Yeah. So that's
to be continued. That's another maddening thing about it. It's like, okay, don't Twin Peaks this to death. Come on.
I would say, just Robin, response to what you've said about it, if that many people are having a problem, it can't be the people. I've met people, and yes, it can.
I know.
Yeah, it can totally be the people.
It can be, but it can't be like everybody. I mean, it's
most people. Anyway, so we should probably
move on to something else.
Yes. Well, it's getting
in the non-Doctor Who department.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No. I can start.
Do that
so I've actually foreshadowed this. Yes.
Fuck you.
I've actually foreshadowed. Foreshadowed.
Foreshadowed.
I've actually foreshadowed this earlier because Forza Horizon 5 is out and speeding around Mexico. It's pretty cool. It's also very pretty. It's also the same game that you've liked for the last 3 times. So I really can't complain that much about it. Although people have. So, but
you gotta get rid of people's expectations.
Again, your expectations do not apply to my enjoyment of a thing. I can only advise. That's all these are just suggestions. You don't have to
planting seeds.
Whatever.
He's just
planting
seeds.
Exactly. It's the same game you know and love. You can dick around in cars. The game. That's what this is. It's not going around a track. Exactly.
And this time we brought in Pixar.
And there are no left turns.
Oh, different cars. Oh, never mind.
Different cars. Different speedier cars. Different speedier cars. And some old, really slow ones too, which are the barn finds. The barn finds. Fuck the barn finds. Don't go after the barn finds. I never get anything good anyway. So.
But how do you feel about the barn finds, though?
Spoilers for the game. But it's fun. It's fun.
Is that Rafe's cousin or?
Sure.
Okay.
But it's, if you like the car racing and you don't want to start in a Honda Fit, it's fine for you. So enjoy that. Forza Horizon 5. It's on Xbox. It's on PC. If you have Game Pass, you can get it now and you don't have to pay anything for it, other than for Game Pass. So check that out. I think I'm going to steal something from you, Rob. Idols has a new record called Crawler, and it's really, really good. I actually liked Ultramono too, but a lot of people didn't, turns out. So now they've got another one, and I feel like it's closer in kind of intensity to like brutalism. It's more brutalism and less Joys and Active Resistance. I don't feel like they needed to do Joys and Active Resistance 2 at all. But some people seem to.
It was the difficult second album.
It's a difficult second album. But they've gotten past the difficult third album, and now it's the I don't know what you call it, fourth album. But I enjoyed it, and it's fine.
It's dark.
It's dark as shit. So if you like your extremities, go for that. So there's that, and I'll throw in a late coming recommendation for Savage Avengers because it's just guilty fun. And where else are you going to see Conan the Barbarian and the Punisher on a team at the same time? It's so ridiculous, and it's maddeningly fun. So check that out. Bing.
Cool.
But really just Idols.
And the other things.
Duffy, did you see the Streaming New Order concert?
I have not. I've had a couple of things lately where
they're rolling it over. They keep rolling it over. So you
okay?
But yeah,
there have been a number of other real life things that have kept me away from a lot of things.
I don't want to ask you about a particular thing about it unless you've seen it, because I don't want to.
Okay, no, I haven't.
There's
seen
a thing
it yet.
I don't want to ruin for you. So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
All right,
I'll go.
Go, Scott.
Got a couple books. One is Hurt So Good by Lee Cowart. This was actually a recommendation from Walden. And it is a woman, she's a science writer. She explores the science of the pleasure of pain. And yes, it does discuss sadomasochism, but it also discusses other ways that people find pleasure in painful things, like
listening to Morrissey.
Eating. No, that is not covered. but things like extreme pepper eating, chili eating contests, like the Carolina Reapers and all that. Ultra marathons where people run hundreds of miles without stopping. It also explores like the dark side of it, like with eating disorders. So just in case you're interested, but yeah. that's a whatchamacallit, trigger warning. But she reads it, and she does it because she been talking about the eating disorder. She also talks about her own experience, and you can tell this was a not easy read for her, and for that section. But the stuff she talks about with her own experiences with masochism, she is woo enthusiastic. But she talks about like the science behind it and the various things that caused it. Like she talks about the flatulence back in the bubonic plague days, how they were like finding religious ecstasy by flatulent.
Flagellation.
Thank you. Okay.
That's
I
way
remember
different.
that plague with all the
That is way different.
Way different. I know. I'm not pronouncing it right. But it's a really.
I think some gas sex would have helped back then, back in the old days.
Yeah. Well, the wounds that they had weren't exactly sweet smelling. Let's put it that way.
Well, they were but they were well-to-do.
Well-to-do, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I didn't hear the welt. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay. Yeah, that's the joke. Yeah. But what I really like about it is like she's trying to, because people, when you talk about like pleasure of pain, you obviously think about whips and chains and shit like that. But it really is a lot more, encompasses a lot more fields, and also is not that odd. A lot of people do it. I mean, why do people eat peppers why would people do that? That's just as mystifying as why would somebody want needles stuck in them as a sexual pleasure. But she really, she's really.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like that unusual.
Sure.
Yeah. Who was asking?
Would you like to expand on that, John?
But it's very well written, and I would recommend the audiobook because, like I said, she really talks. I'm trying to do it. God damn. But it's a great book. You should read it. It's not like overly technical, so there's that, but it really does explore the psychology and the physical parts of why people like hurting themselves in various contexts. The next one is actually interesting. There was a YouTube channel a while ago called the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. It was this guy trying to come up with words for various emotional experiences. And I actually did a heads up of this channel a few years ago on Need Coffee. And he has finally come out with a book based on the stuff he's written for this channel. And it's called The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. And to give an example, he had a word called sonder, which means the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and as complex as yours. And he comes up with these various emotional states that you can easily connect with, but it's like trying to come up with and he uses various sources to create the words themselves. Like he uses various languages, ancient languages, stuff like that. He doesn't just use he uses, Latin and Greek and various Asian languages and stuff like that. And his thing is like, he's trying to show through this book that the various things that we experience, we all have those things, and to put words to them sort of makes them more easily handled, and also gives us more of a connection, that we're not some weirdo thinking these thoughts, that most people have them, and this guy's trying to put a word to it and trying to make it more accessible. And if you watch the videos, he really comes up with some really beautiful definitions for some of these states. And you can check out my review for the channel, but the book that he wrote is out today. And I've already listened to a bit of it on audio, and some of the stuff there is, he also, some of them are just quick little definitions, but some of them are like mini essays on certain emotional states that we experience. Like, I think there was one, I can't remember the word, but the state of how did he put it? Shit, I completely lost it. But it's really interesting. I think you should check it out. So it's the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. Ding dong.
Okay, Rob, what you got?
I'm going to start with books. The first one is called Fry's Ties, So Stephen Fry is notorious for having this like collection of neckties. And basically he put a book out where he picks a random number of ties and tells the stories about why he likes them, why he wears them, but it ties in. He sort of uses the ties as like sort of a
ties in.
Yes. Wait, hold on.
There we go.
So it ties the room together. It's a memoir, but it's kind of like this is the tie that you like. He's talking about the stuff with neckties and how the Jeeves books, how the ties sort of make that. There's a little bit about Oscar Wilde, and so it's really kind of an interesting vignettes of stuff all tied together. So that's pretty cool.
The tie is a launching point.
Yes. I'm trying not to set up a joke so that Widget has to hold up the sign again.
I suddenly feel like going to get some pad thai. I don't know why.
Hold on. Oh, I was waiting for the sign, but it's okay.
It's a very tiny sign for a very tiny joke.
Tiny joke, yeah.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, the other one is kind of a little more esoteric, but yeah, it's called Scoundrels and Spitballers, Writers in Hollywood in the 30s. So it's basically a book about all the guys that were doing all the grunt screenplays for all the movies in the 30s, everything from King Kong to like noir and stuff, and basically how all the different. It talks about how like basically like seedy back bars and radical bookstores sort of influenced where this material came from and how they mined the counterculture to give us these different things that we have. And it's a really cool sort of looking at Hollywood in the 30s, but also the craft of writing for movies. They didn't have television then, so sorry, but you can't stream it. But sort of like writing for Hollywood in the 30s. So it's pretty cool. And then since Tuffley talked about idols, but there is a new Beach House record. Once Time Melody.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there.
Well, I had to have something because I knew you would take the idols. See, I knew that you were going to go back in time. And
I did too.
So
he knew. Thing.
I have a list. I have a four album list now for when I'm going to be on and Tuffley's going to be on. And then that way,
because Rob knows not to stick his neck out.
Well, it's a big neck, like the rest of me. But anyway, yeah. So Beach House. It's an 18. It's an 18.
I'm there with you, Widge.
Thank you.
Go, ignore us. Go.
I got to rock. So anyway, yeah, it's an 18.
No, you did not say that. You did not.
I thought it
before.
Wait. So, are we doing this?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I heard Rock
I'm not
Lobster.
talking.
Oh, I said it.
Okay. Rock Lobster.
I like how you like Hulk Hogan up for it.
That was the Hulk Hogan. That was just me trying to stop laughing.
Oh, okay. Because you looked like you were getting pumped up for it.
So, and we were just, we were just talking shit, and Rock Lobster just went off, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
Rock Lobster.
It's been a while, Scott. We wanted to make sure you got it in.
Mm-hmm. Keep going,
Hello.
Rob.
So yes, the Beach House record is 18 songs long, made during the pandemic, and it's really actually beautiful because it sounds like a Cocteau Twins record at times. It sounds like Old Dead Could Dance sometimes, and it's sort of like got that like thing that happens with a record when it takes my convoluted like brain that's in 50 different directions and just calms it in the way coffee doesn't always do. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's 18.
And this one's doing the same kind of 4 EP sort of thing that the Johnny Marr thing's doing, right? Where there's the 4 parts that are going to come out, and then later it's all going to come out as one thing.
Yeah, and I think that's from what I understand from talking to somebody at Sub Pop, is they had this thing all sort of planned out how they wanted to do the marketing, because there's 5 different variations of the freaking record. They've got this whole plan of how they want to present this, and I think Marr's got I think with Marr a lot of it because he's got a 4 EP thing called Fever Dream. And I think with him, it was more, I can crank out these 4 songs and get them ready. Let's get them out there. And then I think it was mostly for that end. I think that was because of the production line. We're seeing a lot of that with music because the production.
Yeah,
line,
I was wondering, like, is this like a thing that's happening now, or like a bunch of people are just going to chop things up and then release them later?
They're trying to get new product out, right? And they can't make any records because Adele has them all, and and so it's like, well, I want to get music out there for people right now because they are trying to drive sales in some way, shape, or form. And they can't tour, so you're giving them little chunks to sort of build up. I think that's what's going on.
Okay, because I was wondering about that because I've seen that a lot. I'm getting a lot of stuff where, we've got the new album and you're going to get it in pieces, and I thought, and
some of it too is that a lot more artists now, because the record industry as we know it before the pandemic is dead, and nobody really knows how it's going to emerge, but. There's a lot more artists doing Kickstarters now to get their albums made. They'll announce the album. They'll announce it's coming out. They book the studio time, but they hope that by doing Kickstarters and things, they can get enough money to pay for it that they can produce it and do it themselves. And one of the ways they do that is release it in chunks. So,
but you're saying I should get this Beach House record now before Taylor Swift does her cover version of it.
I think so. By the way, did you see the Dionne Warwick? Janet told me about. Did you see the Dionne Warwick tweets about that?
I did
yesterday. Which was great.
I'm not sure if it's her or if it's the assistant writing for her.
I think it's her because it sounds like
she was actually there. She showed up on one of the.
Yeah, she did. She was on. She was on the Dionne Warwick show again.
Yeah, she did a thing on Twitter about why does that young man have that girl's scarf? He needs to give it back to her. Jake, I'll pay for it. I'll pay the mailing. Give that woman back her scarf.
She's a treasure. She's a treasure and a psychic network all in one.
Exactly. So anyway, Widge wants to go to bed. So
what?
That's the joke.
Widge always wants to not go to bed.
Just waking up.
That's the joke. Yeah. So the Beach House record's gonna be interesting, but I think more and more artists are doing that because they can sort of control when it comes out, and there's so much competition in streaming, they can pick their spots with it.
Yeah,
and the music industry is total bullshit.
It's going to be interesting to see how it happens.
I'm just curious to see how it's actually received as these chunks. Like, are people actually going to get the EPs? Or are they knowing that the whole thing's going to be out later, or do they just wait to get the whole thing?
I think it depends on the artist. Like somebody like Johnny Marr, there's enough people that are like into him and his catalog and the Smiths that they'll buy them in chunks. And I think Beach House is kind of the way because the art and the packaging of it. I think if you do something to make it distinctive, you won't mind buying it, So
because we had the Robin thing 10 years. We're 10 years out from the Robin thing, and I'm not sure how that experiment worked because the next time she came out with a record, she just came out with a record. Yeah. So I'm not really sure.
I think a lot of this is necessity because they can't press as many records, and they can't press as many CDs. And I think getting the people, I think it's easier to get somebody to mix 4 tracks right now than to get someone to mix,
because I feel like it's getting people's eyeballs to streaming basically.
Part of it, yeah. But then artists, but like Johnny Marr, like when you watch his stream that he just did this weekend, there's a link to buy his stuff on the stream, and it explains why the importance of buying from the artist directly versus a streaming service and all this other thing. So, and I'm fine with buying streaming because literally, if I bring another physical fucking piece of record in my house, I'm going to die.
Your wife's going to kill you. You won't have to die.
That's what. Exactly.
Yeah, I got what he was saying. Yeah,
I'm not worried about you dying. I'm just worried about
you just want to come over and take it. You just want to come over and take it all what I've done.
No, because my wife will then kill me.
And then Widge will come in and kick off.
Because then she won't. Well, alternatively, she won't have any room for all the Captain Marvel collectibles. So there's that. So, to be fair.
Yeah, so I think that's a lot of it. It's it's not like Stephen King did, when The Dark Tower came out as the little small novellas, chunk by chunk. Kids, ask your parents.
But the difference is Beach House and Johnny Marr already have the records done.
Yeah.
King didn't have it finished.
Well, it sounds like a lot of what audio drama does nowadays. I mean, it's all episodic. It's not, some of them may schedule or at least have some stuff in the can, but it's not like done in one. It's like
I think a lot of it too is not only is it episodic, but it's also, I've one friend of mine who's a sound engineer, and just like the amount of projects he's juggling right now, he's like, well, I haven't worked in 2 years, and I'm not going to sleep for 2 years, so
it's a thing. Audio drama has definitely, audio drama and also audio documentaries.
Not going to any concerts for a while, but have a good time. Oh yeah, you went to concerts. You've been to more concerts
already.
There's people.
I've gone to concerts already. Yeah.
If I can't control the people.
Elvis Costello was great too. He said hi.
Did you talk about breaking up the Pogues?
Everyone's broken up the Pogues. What the fuck are you talking about? Everyone, including members of the Pogues.
Yeah. Oh, I'm probably. There might be another thing I'm coming down there for.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're up to 4 at this point.
Oh God.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you, Tuffley, and then I swear. Did you see the tour next year with Billy Idol? Have you seen who's on this thing?
He's not the headliner.
It's Billy Idol,
Billie
Toto,
Eilish, Billy Joel.
No, that would be better than Toto,
Billy Connolly,
Billy Idol,
Billy Holiday,
and Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Journey's tour. It's Billy and Toto are opening.
Yeah. It's just weird to me.
And Winch just perked up.
No, I mean, I saw this earlier. I was like, that's a very odd combination.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Billy Ocean? Is Billy Ocean around?
And also, Billy Idol just put out a Christmas record. What the fuck?
I didn't know that. Okay, I gotta find that.
Well, no, you don't.
Don't go look for that, please. You're better off not doing it.
Please don't.
I
finally listened.
It can't be any worse than
I finally listened to his Sirius XM show, and it's like once you realize it's Billy Idol, the selection's like, oh, okay, I get why he's picking it. But his voice, man, just hearing him talk, he sounds like he got out of the crypt. I mean, it's like Jesus, man.
At least he's always sounded like that.
No, this sounds like I'm 90 and I'm dying. Whereas Iggy just sounds like Iggy, This is like
Iggy is in Florida and has a bird.
It's like
the bird is his life force.
It's like
bird.
It's like Buxter Poindexter and like Tom Waits had their voice channeled through Grandma Walton on a radio show.
Oh, that's auto-tune.
That's terrifying.
But it's a weird. I look at this. I'm like, okay, who's playing a trick on me? I don't get it. I mean, they're doing this whole thing where they put acts together that don't act, like when they put the Pretenders with Def Leppard and the Violent Femmes with Dropkick Murphys, and there's supposed to be a Bjork Metallica thing coming.
What was the thing they had here just a couple of weeks ago, which was it was Metallica and Greta Van Fleet and who was the other one? Cage the Elephant.
I don't even remember.
That happened. That was a thing that happened.
Okay.
It was Greta Van Fleet, Cage the Elephant, and Metallica as the closer.
I mean, I didn't hate the Billy Idol EP that he put out, but please don't make a Christmas record.
The Venn diagram between they're just two circles.
It's very weird. Like, I'm not really a person that's comfortable listening to
here's
Africa.
The thing, though,
and then fucking Rebel Yell.
After Rob Halford did a Christmas album, I think the Christmas album industry should just stop. I mean, and the Halford record is really good, by the way, but it just feels like once Halford's done a Christmas record, I mean, that is the mic toss. That is it. That is the end
of
the Christmas music industry.
Has Tupac done one?
I'm sure he's doing it from his bunker where he's absolutely not dead. So, you know,
I'm sure that's happening. JFK Jr.
Yes, and they've both gone to Rolling Stone shows. So, you know, that should tell you a little bit about where they are in their afterlife.
Yeah, every year there's Christmas albums that come out that just make you shake your head and go, "What is this?" You know, and
Cash Grab.
Most Christmas
Cash Grab.
Yeah.
Although seriously, the Halford record is actually pretty good. So,
you know what? With everything he's been through, if he wants to cash in, fine, I get it. But I'm just like, come on.
Okay. So
Rob, was that your?
That was not very long. Yeah, that was my Kurosawa recommendations. I apologize in advance.
No, you're
by
fine.
the way, while we're quickly on the subject of Christmas music, I just want to let everyone know that I have already, like, Last Christmas myself, having survived Whamageddon for like the last 5 years on end. I have decided that I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself. So I have Last Christmas myself already, so I can just get it fucking over with.
It's not the season yet, though.
That's you know.
So funny story.
Yeah,
Sirius XM. So every time I bring my car into my dealership, the Sirius XM sends me a free 3-month, whatever for my car every single time. And so that's the only time I ever listen to it is if it happens to be on and free. I found out that while I was away for my period of time when I didn't have Sirius XM, and I got it back just recently, a Foo Fighter channel came to be.
Yes, there was.
That's what I was wondering if you discovered that yet.
Exactly 2 days for me. Mm-hmm. Scott, when you ask if it's a season, on day 3, I forget what song came up, but it still said Foo Fighter channel as I'm backing out of my garage. I'm like, all right. Last Christmas.
You were listening to the transition from the Foo Fighters channel to the Christmas channel.
It turned to the Holly channel next day.
Shit.
Last Christmas myself. No joke. That's what was playing.
Wow.
See, if you just don't
so
go
not
out
only
into the
not
world.
only did they Foo Fighters, they also screwed me over for the holiday season.
Well, it hasn't started yet, so it doesn't.
Are you kidding?
Sirius
They had
XM
Christmas.
seems to disagree
July.
with you.
It starts in July, dude.
They had Christmas shit.
No, I understand this because I was just made my wife do the sigh of frustration that she does when I saw Christmas
what
tree
they
in
do
November.
is
But for me, it shouldn't start till Thanksgiving.
Actually, if you look on Sirius XM on the app,
there's a channel.
Apparently they have a Christmas channel on full year all the time.
They do.
I'm not surprised.
I'm talking about stores. They had Christmas shit before Halloween.
Yeah, but I don't go to.
Also, as far as the radio channels go on the over-the-air satellite channels, they've gotten very tricky about this because if you're not careful, you're either going to run into a Christmas channel or a yacht rock channel. They've gotten very sneaky about this.
I've started doing I did a
beware, Sirius XM viewers. Listeners, you may be getting either a Christmas channel or a yacht rock channel, and they won't tell you.
I did a search of it the other day that I put in Bulgarian folk, and I got nothing. But it's going to show up in their matrix now. So some guy in a suit's going to be like, so every day now for 3 weeks, I've just been typing in Bulgarian folk just to fuck with the people that get the word search.
Way to fight the system, Rob.
They apparently the Who is in rotation on the metal channels.
Today, Scott?
Not hanging anything on the wall.
What have you done to burn down the system, Scott?
He took everything off the wall.
Have you tried throat singing?
Oh God, John.
There's some great Tibetan throat singing records.
What is your recommendation, John? Besides
standing,
being careful of the Foo Fighter channel on Sirius XM.
Yeah, sorry. I just realized that I had my window open on the neighbor side.
Oh,
wow!
Yelling into this microphone for.
Did they run in terror?
They're getting a show.
No. Their master bedroom's right across the hall.
Who are these people?
Anyway, yeah, no. So I'm so busy.
Although Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is this weekend on HBO and HBO Max, so Foo Fighters.
Kraftwerk.
Just throwing that in there.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
So
Kraftwerk.
Yeah. 3 things that I'll recommend just real quick is really haven't. The Wonder Years new reboot, the 2021 version is actually very, very well done, and adorable would be the word. Actually, all three of these things are very adorable is the word I'm going to use. Don Cheadle's voiceover work is fantastic. And I don't know, it's just a really well done and really thoughtful reboot.
I'm so happy that's a really good show.
Yeah. The other one I'm going to recommend is both versions of Ghosts, both the BBC version and the American version. Now, I like the BBC version better, just mostly because I like the husband in that one is. Oh, they were married, right? Yeah. He's more likable than the one that's in the American version.
That tends to be the path of the British to American translations.
Yeah, they made him. They made. He's coming around. He's getting softer, if you will. But at first, it made him seem like he was
super abrasive.
He was a bit abrasive, yeah. But now he's softening up a bit. So, both versions are really good. The one, the American version is only 6 or 7 episodes in. But they're following very similar stories. But I do really hope that the British version gets a 4th season, because it's super good and super adorable shows. I mean, they're very pleasant, adorable shows that you can consume in a half hour and move on with your life. So sometimes it's what we need.
What was the third one?
Ghosts.
I mean, you said there were 3 shows.
Yeah, Ghosts.
So,
Ghosts is
both
2.
of them. Okay.
BBC and American. And then
I see what you did there. I'm sleepy. I'm just trying to count now. Was that 1 or 2?
No math.
Yes.
And none of these things you can buy on needcoffee.com. But you know what you can buy? An Apple Watch Series 7 over there through needcoffee.com/Amazon. They're pretty cool. I got one.
I still have my 2.5 or whatever the hell. I don't even remember.
Well, this is my first foray into Apple Watches. I've been wearing Fitbits mostly.
Does yours update without having to erase the entire watch to do it?
I don't know.
Okay. Let me know.
It might.
Well, John is.
I wasn't going to get a Samsung, but I said, I like my left hand too much to.
You like your hand
catching fire.
Apple Watch, because
go back
you
to the
like
whole
your
Hulk
wrist.
thing. I would stay as Hulk. Well, I'm on fire as opposed to.
I don't know what it is. I have no problem with Sam. They don't explode on me. They don't try to burn the house down. I don't know.
Yes, but you're in Florida. Physics works differently there.
No.
Everything works differently.
Just John, so you're clear, Samsung isn't. Let's go ahead.
The Razor Fist character from Shang-Chi had a Samsung watch. That's how he wound up.
Exactly. That's what happens, kids.
But if you want to buy a wrist-destroying Samsung watch, I'm sure you can also get that at needcoffee.com/Amazon.
If you like to cause yourself pain,
these are watches.
Then you also want to buy the book that Scott was talking about why you want to cause yourself
Samsung
pain.
Watch. Exactly.
It all comes back around, especially dicks. Now,
it's a wheel. It's a wheel of dicks.
John is correct in that if you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, you wind up on the front page of Amazon.
Go now.
Like you've gone to the front page of Amazon because that's where you've gone. And it is coming into the holiday season. So buy often and early because, the postal system, if you're in the U.S., the postal system is screwed. Supply chains suck and should be destroyed. So, it's still the apocalypse. So, get your shopping done early. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so every time you purchase something after going to an Amazon link on the site, we get kickbacks, which helps pay for the server, among other things. So we thank you for doing that. Now, I think that brings us to the...
Well, hold on. You don't have anything to recommend?
Oh, the recommendation. Yes, my recommendation.
You recommended Amazon.
I recommended Amazon But I will also recommend something else that you can't buy on Amazon, which is the new season of Taskmaster is up from the UK, and it is simply brilliant and wrong. And I believe, I know a lot of Taskmasters on YouTube. I'm not sure how much of the new season.
I believe officially it's on. Some of it's on CW still, and some of it, and some of it's on HBO Max. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the CW bought the American rights to the show, whether or not they actually aired them on the network, but they have been posting them on the website.
Okay.
Which also means backdoor HBO Max.
Yep. So Taskmaster. Look for the one with Greg Davies as the host. Except no substitutes. So as I was saying, thank you for reminding me that I had to do my recommendation because I did have that in mind. That brings us to the end of another episode of Weekend Justice. And I think the only thing left for us to do at this point is to sit in our chairs of, varying degrees of comfiness and look back over the past 3 hours that we've been trying to give our own perspective and expectations on things to ruin Tuffley's life. And, we should simply say, dicks.
Dicks.
We've blown our wad early in the show.
Yes, we have.
Well, that is kind of what we do. That is the expectation of this program.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
Yep.
Oh.
Gotta love what your uterus says.
We're just all about the dicks here, though.
Yep.
That's a clarion call for something.
A minute. Do not isolate that me.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Always. Sure.
Well, I can't
pretend we're not and say something fantastic.
No. I can't tell the story while we're live. But.
Yeah.
We're never going off the air.
It's off.
Well, we're just never gonna
ignore the.
That went so well, guys.
Ignore everything that says.
That was really well done. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good episode. Now we're done.
Yeah, nice try.
Okay, we're off the air.
You all are shit.
Oh, God.
So this one time, clicks back on, doesn't tell it. And then I looked at him and went, oh my God.
And then she said,
yes, does it get any bigger?
And it actually came out of her body.
And then Darth Vader told Luke,
and it was
I've never
walking
seen it that
around.
size.
It was walking around all
balls.
There's lots of, and this is the code.
And then he said, America, you're fucked.
We just did the new copy montage. It's basically the whole summary of everything we ever talked about.
Ever. It's like a summary of just Weekend Justice. Ever.
Okay, balls killed me. Don't isolate that
Weekend
meme.
Justice.
we'll fix it in post.
That's funny.
Oh, there's a whipping post.
Or a farting poster for Scott.
All right. Ending the broadcast. now.
I'm going to pee.
Okay.
I just
We're
did.
done.
I'm going to die. I got to go pee.
Bye.
Guys.
These are all variants, by the way. Bye.
What's that?
I said these are all variants, by the way.
All right, John. Have a good night.
Bye.